Again, that's 63rd Street east of Halstead. As for the expressways, things in pretty good shape. In fact, the only delay you'll find comes on the inbound side of I-57 between Halstead and the Dan Ryan. Altogether, that's just about a 2-minute backup. Traffic is service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers, Chicago's family-owned jewelry store. Rogers and Hollins is giving you and Mom the chance to win with their Mother's Day sweepstakes. Enter at rogersandhollins.com and you could win $100 to spend in the store, flowers, and spa gift certificates. Enter soon because the contest ends May 13th. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny with a couple of showers late this afternoon, high 61. A passing evening shower, otherwise breezy and chilly tonight with patchy clouds, low 37. Breezy with sun and patchy clouds tomorrow, high 50. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 50 at O'Hare, 54 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Dan and Amy in Mexico. It's Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by 1-800-4blindchicago.com. Call 773-447-5448 and get the sun out of your eyes.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning. Happy Friday. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson.
Did you sleep here last night? It's like Jamaica in here. It's got to be 80 degrees.
You know, it's either, I don't want to do a technical workshop here, and talk about the studio and all that, but it's...
For the viewers,
it's broiling.
I'm
stripped. I'm wearing the... If you watch, and you can watch on the Income Store live video stream, I am wearing the, from the Amy Jacobson Craig Stebick collection, just a bikini top in here tonight.
Would explain the cleavage.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
have you done a push-up in your life? Jeez.
It's, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, one. So, anyway, hey, the Korean War's over. You want to hear the announcement?
Go ahead it.
Okay, I don't hear it.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
5 minutes ago at 10:01 this morning, the truce was signed in Panmunjom. The hostilities will end 12 hours from now at 10 o'clock. The war is over!
Attaboy, Ernie! Hey, hey! Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
It's over. It's all over. Sorry.
People don't really talk about the Korean War anymore. You know, we lost, 2,000 less than we did in Vietnam and Korea?
My father ran to the draft board with the pregnancy result tests. My mother was pregnant with me, and that kept him out of Korea. I had two uncles who fought in Korea. One spent the rest of his life in a VA hospital. Okay. I mean, he might have been a little bit hinky before he went to Korea. The other one was, my favorite, Uncle Pete. They fought in Korea. But now it just ended. The war finally just ended.
I had one. I don't think people realize how brutal that whole war was, or at least they don't talk about it. We have to... After all, we have to rewrite history to steal the future. And so instead of...
I love your fortune cookie sayings there.
Listen, we better start paying attention because, we're getting slow cooked here. But I don't buy one lick of this. This 30-something-year-old, the only fat guy in North Korea with his Hillary Clinton outfit on, I don't trust him as far as I could throw Trump. I don't buy 1 second of it.
I'm so lonely. That was his old man song.
Careful.
That was his old man song. Look, if Team America, one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, they announced an end. They signed the end to the Korean War, and
why aren't more people encouraging like me?
I'm so all together now. Lonely. I don't want to pull it El Tomato. I can't do it. Team America can do it. A marionette can do it. I can't. So, in other news, we should. I mean, it was at the top of the news. I assume everybody heard this. They signed the peace treaty right now. They signed an end to the war in North Korea, so we can go home now. Now we don't have to worry about denuclearization.
Let's just unpack it a little bit.
All right.
They have been starving to death for over a decade. The reality of despotism is absolute failure. So North Korea, like Cuba, like Venezuela, is a prison camp.
Right.
The only way their people are there is through force. I say they're doing this to fluff up and at least feed some of their people through false negotiations, like how morons pretend if we open up trade in Cuba, it's going to be good for us because they'll buy things.
As with Iran, what it's going to wind up being is kicking the can down the road. They get all the goodies up front, and then they don't have to come through in the end. The problem is that they now are just on the verge of being able to reach California.
They can't reach
I know we're ambivalent about that they could reach it. But supposedly, Trump came up with a credible nuclear or military threat to North Korea.
That's right.
I mean, I didn't even know how that works. How does Kim Jong-un actually believe us? But apparently, we're believable here. Maybe it's because Bolton's the new national security advisor.
Bolton has nothing to do with it.
Well,
This is strictly Trump. And I mean it. And I don't give him credit on everything.
No, but how do we know
In
that?
fact, very few things.
But you have to have the will and to use the force that we have. So why is this credible right now? I don't understand that.
Because it's how that one guy said, I might not know crazy, but I know karate. Remember?
Oh, all right.
So Trump
Another
is the
good
only
fortune
guy
cookie saying here.
Who said, you really want to do it? Because let's do it.
All
And then sent the ships. And you know what he realized? I'm completely bankrupt. It's all a facade. The major 98% of the country is starving. In fact, I have to kill people not to realize how bad things are, right? So you can only fake it so much. So what does he do? He figured out another way. Wait, there's this other door, right? There's this other door. I can exploit the Chinese corruption, and we can get him to feed only a small portion of our actual people.
But we will be fooled again. I still worry about this.
The South Koreans just got fooled. That's what this is.
Let's take a check of the traffic and weather right now on AM 560, The Answer.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, so the 5-day forecast without my sheet of paper because I remember it. Bruce, you understand? So today's only going to be 60. It's going to get down to 49. Then we have wind coming in late with rain. Tomorrow, it's going to meander around the same temperatures, maybe a fluctuation of 2 or 3 degrees. The rest of it, you could have Brant Miller with that slick hairdo tell you about it. Now, I was looking forward because, I've developed this rapport with Ferramante. I like him.
So much that you don't even know his name.
Right.
But you're Italian, too, so it doesn't matter.
So there was a neighborhood thing there. We now switched up. It's Telemonte, whatever. We now switched up. We've got Derek Peters, and he's going to tell you where the bad drivers are.
Sorry to disappoint, guys. Luckily, I have good news to share, and that's that so far, roadways in pretty good shape. No delays to report on any of the area expressways. However, if you are traveling through the south side, be aware there's an active police investigation in the 600 block of West 63rd Street. Police still on scene there, so I would avoid the 63rd Street east of Halstead. But other than that, on the major roadways, you are looking at a pretty solid trip into the city. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah, it's called Schadenfreude. If you really want to be careful
you got
on
to
it.
put the feminine twist on the end?
Yeah, you
All
don't
right.
say Schadenfreude. You know, a guy like Jonah Goldberg would say that, but he'd be wrong. It would be, it's Schadenfreude. And it means, you know, taking delight in other people's misery. We're taking delight in the fact that Megyn Kelly is screwing the pooch right now.
It's
Yeah,
not.
she's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's
Yeah.
worse than the. I mean, I wanted to see her kind of do okay.
No, I didn't.
But this is tidy bowl territory.
She's
gone.
She looked
over
a gift
with.
horse in the mouth. Her popularity, granted, you know, she's a hot blonde and she was competent, but her popularity was owing to the fact that she was on a conservative station, and I get it that she was
acting.
Well, no, I get it that she was harassed and she shouldn't have been, but I figure the harassment. Let's bring it down to the mathematics here. Okay, she was harassed. That's worth $20 million.
69
No,
million.
but she got a job that was worth about $100 million for her at Fox. So she benefited. You know, if you want to just reduce it to that. Speaking of harassment and stuff like that, and NBC, did you see this? Tom Brokaw is being accused right now of some woman named Linda Vester.
Oof.
He apparently tried to grab her and make her kiss him in the 1990s. He claims, I didn't do that at all. I brought her in. I am not like a liberal lion of the Senate, Teddy Kennedy. I didn't do anything. So,
well, I'm just. It's refreshing for a guy stuck in Illinois to see the scandals with a woman. Most of our scandals from Illinois Republicans are with guys. So, you know, let's look at the positive. Hastert. By the way, is he still sick? Remember when he was going through court, he had the walker, he was near death. Now what's he doing?
I thought
Jumping
you were referring
jacks?
to, I forgot about Hastert. Thought you were referring to the
disgrace.
former treasurer, Rutherford.
He's another guy.
Yeah.
He's
But-
often,
which was never proven.
No,
Yeah,
of
was never
course not,
proven.
unless you met him.
So, but yeah, speaking of, just this is a lesson to all you youngsters out there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember in the GOP primary debates when Rutherford was running? Okay, and Carol Marine thinks she's a great journalist, and she asks Rutherford about this lawsuit that was filed, and he says, I can't talk about anything because the lawsuit was filed, and I am not allowed to speak about a lawsuit pending litigation. Well, she could have said, isn't it true that when the lawsuit came out, you held a press conference and you waived a travel voucher of your accuser, which purported to show that there was no way that you could have harassed this guy because he was not there at the time. You talked about it then. Now you opened the door to talk about it.
Yeah. Well,
So-
she doesn't have the legal skills of one Bruce
Hey,
Wolf.
Bruce Dole
Of
screwed
course, she's
the
got a
pooch.
better wardrobe, however. She's half of that, what do they call it, deep dish? Her and that other, I call
Mary
them
Ann
stretch
Aher.
marks and cellulite. I can't
Hey,
keep track.
hey, I like these people.
No, but here's
we
the
don't
other
have to
thing.
go to the ad hominem, the
I'm
insult.
I'm going to give you inside baseball. I was invited when he was announcing to his, you know how they announce they invite a few people. They're hoping
talking
for
about
checks.
Rutherford?
Rutherford.
Uh-huh.
So I go to this event, and you know he starts to talk, and it's kind of like this state senator in Illinois, where you realize the closest you're going to get is like a fiscally sound Democrat. Every agenda item he had It sounded like, look, I'm going to be kind of like Daly, only feminine. That was the whole pitch. It was ridiculous.
It's what I like to call the combine. Oh, wait a minute. That's John Cass's.
And he's got, I don't know how many
term.
pensions now. So he skips off into the sunset with his pensions in tow, along with a young boy, and he now is a statesman. And now all of the scandal, because there was real scandal there.
No, you don't know that. It was only alleged.
Squashed. Yeah, it was squashed.
It was alleged. It was never proven. Hey, breaking news. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have named their baby Louis Arthur Charles. Well, what happened to Mohammed? It is the most popular name for a baby in Great Britain.
King Louis.
They gave three first names, Louis Arthur Charles. You couldn't have fit a Mohammed in there. Jettison the art.
I reject
Put
monarchs.
Mohammed
I don't know much about royalty, but I
don't
do know
get that.
Much like marrying cousins, they recycle the names.
Isn't that racist to not acknowledge the fact
Is
that
there
Great
some
Britain
rule?
is turning Muslim?
Is there some rule you have to take the most popular name?
Well, how about 1/3 of the name? You got the Louis, you got the Arthur, and the Charles. I mean, Charles, I get it because that's Grandpa. Who's Arthur? King Arthur? Are we going back to Guinevere?
All the way, baby.
Who's Louis? That's a French king.
That's the guy with the booze.
That's the Bourbons. Okay.
With the Baccarat bottle. What's that thing cost? Like $2,500?
I don't get this. I think it's very racist of
I don't get why it's
the
news.
Duke and Duchess.
Who cares what they
Well,
name
I
their
don't know.
kid?
It's just on Twitter right now.
You got a cousin named Irving who named his kid Maury. What's the difference? Who cares?
So, hopscotching around here right now. What do you think of the Bears draft?
I want to talk about when can we talk about John Cass's article, because this is big.
That
news.
was not on the agenda today.
I want to talk about John. Well, I love.
First
John
of all,
Cass.
it's behind the paywall at the Tribune, so I don't get it.
They got robbed in the Gold Coast, Michigan Avenue.
somebody
Someone
got robbed in the-
carjacked last night at 5:30 in the afternoon.
So this is not supposed to happen, because I mean
It's the good
it's supposed to
neighborhood.
happen in Lawndale
Easy,
or
that's
Austin.
the good neighborhood.
This is not supposed to happen on Michigan, on Bull Midge.
Exactly.
Somebody got hijacked.
So
Pardon my
now
cup.
there'll be some
What
real
was it?
news.
Who got hijacked? How old were they?
Well, there were two
Are they
people. Two
white?
people were shot. One was 36, and the other one was like 84 years old.
Wow.
Mike Scott, he's the guy with the details.
Sure.
Mike Scott's got the details. But these two people get shot, carjacking, 5:30 in the afternoon. That's when all
on Michigan and
the,
what?
When all the trophy wives are returning
On
the gifts
Michigan and
that
what?
they're-
I want to get a feeling because I've driven down
600
Michigan
block. I want to say it's
Avenue.
600.
Oh, north. So it's Gold Coast.
Mike
It
Scott.
started on West Chicago Avenue and then made its way to the Gold Coast. It was an undercover police officer who was carjacked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good picking. And how did the guy got away, didn't he?
He did, and shot at least 2 other people, maybe 3 people who refused to cooperate and get out of the car when they were subsequently carjacked as well, too. And then he eventually ran into a building in the Gold Coast.
This is why that
All right.
25 is near to my heart.
Let's
I'll
go.
act like I'm getting out of the car, and then boom, I shoot you in the forehead.
Let's go to Tom Brokaw on this.
I was groped and assaulted by Tom Brokaw, then the anchor of NBC Nightly News.
That's Linda Vester.
He's trying to cash in on
It
that
was
Mel
in
Lauer.
no way ever consensual. But I didn't say anything because he could ruin my career.
I did not do anything like that. Now, I did Deep Six the Juanita Broderick interview. I didn't want it to run while Bill Clinton was in the impeachment proceeding. I Deep Six it so it appeared on Dateline NBC on a Friday night, the deadest time of the schedule. 6 weeks later. Is that a good Brokaw?
That's pretty good. It's not bad.
Is
He's
this
got some skills. He really does.
Is this a good David Brinkley, NBC News, Washington? Is that good?
I like Brinkley.
All right.
But as a father of 2 daughters, I didn't do anything. This is why the throat punch has
Right.
been, I mean, are you out of your mind? All of a sudden, 12 years later, 20 years later, now I have to believe you.
But it was okay in those days to do
No,
that.
I this is the problem.
It was the 90s.
All of a sudden, she is the virtuous. I have to believe her. How do I not know? She's got credit bills up to her eyeballs, and she's looking for a settlement.
Wait a minute.
You got to pick and choose.
She'll
here.
get 5 other people like the accusers did in Cosby case, and then we'll convict Tom Brokaw.
By the way,
too.
how long until Matt Lauer has a morning show?
well, I don't think he's come due for penance yet.
How about this
No.
guy? He went away faster than Megyn
Oh, he
Kelly.
is gone, and I think Brokaw is going to be gone pretty soon too.
I didn't know he was alive.
We'll be the last men standing. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson.
Backing into
the
a morning show.
Good guys here on AM 560, The Answer.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up after the news, the Korean War is over, how we're going to celebrate. We're sending our producer, Keith, to Times Square to...
First of all, I'll believe it's over when Kim Jong-un has a polo shirt on instead of a Hillary Clinton costume.
I like the idea. Let's go to the newsroom now and Mike Scott.
We're watching a little bit of history being made today as leaders of North and South Korea officially agree to bring the Korean War to an official end. The announcement came as Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in held a summit marking the first visit to the South by a North Korean leader since the beginning of the war that raged on the Korean Peninsula from 1950 to 1953. President Trump is again tearing into the FBI and Justice Department, alleging corruption at the top of the FBI, calling it disgraceful. He made those comments to Fox and Friends yesterday, and the president saying he tries to stay away from affairs of the Justice Department at the time. Comedian and actor Bill Cosby is facing as much as 30 years in prison. Jury in suburban Philadelphia found the legendary comedian and TV dad guilty of sexual assault yesterday. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele says Cosby's outburst in court showed him a lot.
Everybody got to see who he really is when each of those prior bad act witnesses got to testify.
Shortly after the 80-year-old entertainer was found guilty on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, Cosby lashed out at prosecutors with a profanity-laced tirade after jurors left the courtroom. Mike Pompeo headed to the State Department and already on the road headed to Brussels, Belgium this morning after the Senate easily confirmed him as Secretary of State.
Yeas are 57. The nays are 42. The nomination is confirmed.
President Trump tapping the CIA chief to replace fired Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Former NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw is accused of sexually harassing women in the workplace. 2 women accused, including former news anchor Linda Vester, says Brokaw made unwanted sexual advances toward them in the 1990s. Republicans in Colorado Springs want Kanye West at their upcoming Lincoln Day dinner. El Paso County GOP chairman sending the rapper an invitation yesterday over Twitter, saying he'd be honored to have West at the May 12th event. A Dalton police officer, Darrell Hope, is out of the hospital after being the victim of a shooting in Chicago this week. Hope still has one of the bullets lodged in his back. Closing argument scheduled today for the trial of a serial rapist. Former tanning salon owner Mark Winter took the stand Thursday, again denying wrongdoing over any allegations. He's accused of raping at least 9 women over a period of several years. Chicago sports. Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has a new building block in the middle of his defense. Chicago selecting linebacker Roquan Smith of Georgia with the 8th pick overall. Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs blanked the Brew Crew 1-0. Yohan Moncada, one of 5 White Sox home runs in a 6-3 win over the Royals. The news service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers. Chicago's family-owned jewelry store, Rogers and Hollins, is giving you and Mom the chance to win with their Mother's Day sweepstakes. Enter at rogersandhollins.com, and you each could win $100 to spend in the store, flowers, and spa gift certificates. Enter soon because the contest ends May 13th. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher loves the hypocrisy of the left.
This bastion of progressivism, Starbucks, where people who sit around for hours upon hours. You're going to tell me 2 black guys can't sit at a table without being bothered? And I love every bit of the consequences that pretentious, overpriced place is now having to pay.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Gateway Classic Cars' re-grand opening is this Saturday. Call them today at 708-444-4488 or visit gatewayclassiccars.com for more information.
Refresh and restock at CVS Pharmacy, where it's easy to save big on hundreds of everyday items with these great deals. This week only, stock up and save on 6-roll packs of Scott paper towels, just $5.49. And treat yourself to a sweet deal on M&Ms, just 2 for $6. Restrictions apply. See CVS.com/weekly ad for details. Feel good. Save money at your neighborhood CVS Pharmacy.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
5:36. Let's get an update on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek Peters.
Thanks, Mike. Construction crews a little bit sluggish, picking up some overnight road work on the outbound Bishop Ford around 111th Street. That has caused big, heavy delays on the outbound Ford between the Stony Island feeder and 111th. From the Dan Ryan to 8094, you're looking at a 20-minute trip. On the inbound side, you need 17 minutes. Also seeing delays starting to develop on the Dan Ryan inbound from Canalport into the Burns Circle interchange. Traffic is service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny, couple of showers this afternoon. A nice high for the spring of 61. Gets chilly on Friday night with a low of 38 and a much cooler day ahead tomorrow. High only of 50 under sunny skies. 45 right now at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. And with Dan and Amy in Mexico, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are in Mexico. So we got all kinds of big stories. The Korean War is over.
Can't work your microphone.
Tom Brokaw is accused of sexual misconduct. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have named their baby. Bill Cosby is guilty. Brett Baer had a big interview with Jim Comey. We'll talk to Brett Baer later. But, Sean, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I think it's nice lead-in. You see what he tries to do to me? So I'm reading the news because I don't believe much of what you said is news. For instance, I don't care what the Monarch names their newest edition. I could care less. What I do care about is when...
Couldn't care less.
Okay, thank you for the grammar correction. But I'm from Melrose Park and went to St. Joe's. People expect it at this point.
Isaiah Thomas's alma mater.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm more interested in local stuff, like John Cass, and how now the carjackings have reached neighborhoods where they shouldn't.
Right. The Gold Coast.
How about the other, what was it, a week ago in Lincoln Park, where everybody thinks that, we're separated. We're on an island of wealth.
But remember, a lot of our listeners are fleeing Illinois right now.
Well, you know,
so they don't want to get
part?
anywhere near the Gold Coast.
3 years ago, right when I was calling, I would get these Chicago policemen, and one of my favorite, I did a detective contacted me. He's like, listen, I'm retired and I want to move. And he was one of my first sales when I opened up my real estate company in South Florida. And since then, he's given me 4 or 5 guys. And each time I pick up, one of these coppers, they always talk about this, hey, jackass. And, it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
What's more fascinating is when you get these HD enemies, these old newscasters you were friends with, and they go on the news. They go on the news every night, and nobody talk. Since April, there's 154 people shot and wounded.
Now, Hey Jackass is a
Chicago
site which will tell you all these things.
That's put up by Chicago police.
Yes. Okay.
Shot and killed just in April. Just guess how many. Guess.
Rephrase the question again. David.
Shot and killed in Chicago.
How many people in the month
Since
of April?
April 1st.
Since April 1st, I'm going to say 30.
Oh, you're close. 28.
Well, I overbid, so I lose.
How about
the price is wrong, dingbat?
How about the total people shot in Chicago since New Year's Eve?
January, February, March, April. Is this a leap year? No.
Could be.
I'm going to say 400.
707.
Okay.
See, this is worse than these are.
How many flights have been delayed?
These are Vietnam numbers. These are Vietnam numbers.
Yeah.
So everybody was all in a tizzy, right? We're going to focus on, is Amazon going to come here? Well, if you do, you better give them Kevlar. They're all in a tizzy when the little guy made Chirac. Well, it turns out that son of a gun. Spike Lee. Turns out that son of a gun was Nostradamus because it is Chirac.
Of course.
Right? And you got and then Bruce Rauner, 7 foot is stupid. Where is he? He's trying to raise foreign money. So you know what? You're not going to raise it from people who know how to read. So you better go to Poland. You better go to Eastern Europe and hope they open a factory. And my favorite part is when they're interviewing these
I knew you were going to
buffoons.
bring Lech Wałęsa into this somehow.
My favorite part is when they're interviewing these buffoons and you get these corporatist lowlifes up there, the kings of manufacturing with the gel in their hair, and they're all dolled up. And they say, well, O'Hare, it's such an attribute to Chicago. And I always used to say, even as a kid, why in the world does the city get to co-op and confiscate O'Hare? It's nowhere near the city.
It's not contiguous with
because
the Gold
it's a
Coast.
money scam. They're like every other gangster. They saw something going and they extorted it. What do you got going on here? I think I'll take it. That's why Chicago owns O'Hare. That's why they got $8 trillion. What is it? An $8 billion. They're rebuilding a terminal, which is perfectly fine. We're going to rebuild.
So they can drag more people off United flights.
So they can pay
Is
off.
that what we really want?
So they can pay
Dr.
off
Dow
their
and the
contributors.
Red Carpet Burn Club for life.
It's paying off your contributors. It's the money laundering
There you
scheme that
go.
we pretend is an economy.
All right. Are you done with your rant right now?
It's the first hour. You know
No,
what? It's aggravating.
I know it's our
you don't
last
let me
day
talk
here.
After 7.
I know, because we got Brett Baer coming up after 7, and I thought we'd prepare for Baer.
I'm already prepared.
Yeah.
I watched the interview. Did you
Now-
see it? Fascinating.
Yes, I did. Now, among other things, I think this is, if I have to guess, Brett Baer is going to say this was the most startling thing that Jim Comey said to him yesterday.
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
True.
That's not true. And Brett looked startled because he had this whole avenue of questioning that he had to abort at that point. So we'll ask him about this. Here's one little thing. People were talking about this in the post game, like with Joe DeGenova. I don't know if you watched that later on.
No.
They had all these experts on to talk about it. But
yes, I did watch
it.
it.
But here's the thing. Here's an interesting thing that Comey said.
I probably should have said really sloppy, but I wanted to be honest and say it's above sloppy. It doesn't add up to what the 1917 statute meant when it said grossly negligent is a felony.
Now, here's the thing.
He'd be a great
You
Chicago
remember when
Democrat.
he gave the speech and he said she was extremely careless. Now, I'm a lawyer, all right, and negligence means carelessness. a little bit worse than negligence is gross negligence. And then after that, the worst thing is intentionally doing something. There is no difference between saying extremely careless and grossly negligent. If gross negligence is not extreme carelessness, what is gross negligence? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious negligence? And Comey was trying to make a distinction that has no difference there. And, of course, that's the way he talks. He speaks with forked tongue.
Because he'd be a great Chicago Democrat. And gangster, which are pretty much sidecars of the same problem. Because what he's giving you is the plausible deniability of his incompetence. His greatest explanation right now is, I'm stupid and I didn't know. When really pressed into the corner, asked about this dossier, which was really a political document, right? When pressed in the corner, I don't know. Oh, I didn't know. I thought the Republican. No, maybe it was the Democrats. It's like every victim. See, and then the other thing that I like about Comey is he gets to decide. In all your law classes, you didn't read the last page where it says the guy accused gets to decide where the law comes in. See, that's what Jim Comey is. He's an angel among men. Haven't you listened to him where he talks like he's a founding father when he wants to, and then all of a sudden he's a moron?
Boy, is he oily. I mean, he was very, very slippery last night.
And I like he's got this car salesman coat on with the yellow eyelet, which, by the way, he looks even more scummy now that you took the tie off of him. Doesn't he?
What does he think he is, Jim Jordan?
Get off my stoop. I don't want the vacuum, scumbag.
The tieless look. Next thing you know, he doesn't have a sport coat on. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Now for the 5-day forecast, of which I have no documentation in front of me. So today will be 60. Tomorrow will be 50. And the reason is, at night tonight, it's going to be terrible. Rainy, windy, down to 37.
And then, are you just using your weather app from your iPhone right now to
just
do
looking
the
at
weather?
You, I remember it. The hardest part is getting the guy's name right who's doing the traffic. And the other thing is, the only benefit to doing a show where you're getting up like you were a bread truck driver is that there's no traffic except when I get in. And then Derek Peters is going to tell me how they screwed it up since I got here.
Well, speaking of screwing things up, outbound Bishop Ford around 115th Street, late pickup of some overnight construction work causing pretty heavy delays between the Stony Island feeder and 115th Street. Dan Ryan to 8094 takes 20 minutes. Other than that, Edens and Kennedy still in pretty good shape. Eisenhower inbound slow, 25th into Des Plaines. 390 into downtown takes 31 minutes. On the outbound side, just a minute less. Inbound Stevenson slow, Route 83 to County Line, then from Harlem to Kedzie, and again from Ashland into the Dan Ryan. 355 to the drive at 40 minutes. 29 in from the Tri-State. Outbound is all clear. Inbound Dan Ryan will take you 22 minutes. 95th into downtown. You need just 15 for the outbound trip. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Spring is here. It's Amy Jacobson, and I suggest you add this to your spring cleaning. Throw out that old flat pillow and buy your very own new MyPillow. Not only will it keep its shape and adjust your ideal sleeping position, but you can wash and dry it whenever you want. And yes, the best MyPillow 4-pack deal is still available. Go online or call now to take advantage of this great deal. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the MyPillow 4-pack deal with 2 premium MyPillows and my favorite, those 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows at 50% off. Start spring out right. No more headaches or stiff neck with your hypoallergenic Made in America MyPillow with its 10-year warranty plus that 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your 50% off the MyPillow 4-pack today. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
AmeriGas. Your business relies on the power of propane. It's a critical component to success, from powering your forklifts, temporary heating solutions at construction sites, to the patio heaters that warm customers at restaurants and bars. You need a safe, reliable, and trustworthy supplier of propane. You need AmeriGas. With AmeriGas, you get more than just a propane supplier. You get an expert and partner with safety being their #1 priority. Imagine never having to worry about running out of propane and having to call for an emergency delivery. It's available if you need it, but you won't with AmeriGas. AmeriGas monitors your usage and automatically schedules your propane deliveries hassle-free. AmeriGas, for almost 60 years, committed to providing reliable propane services to keep your business running. For safe propane delivery all over Chicagoland, any time of day, call 800-AmeriGas or go to AmeriGas.com. That's AmeriGas.com.
Presentation is everything. If you don't have a great way to convey your message to clients, you may have lost half the battle. You need the right system and equipment for your conference and training rooms. Before you get overwhelmed and freak out over the latest technology, consult with Fathom Media. Fathom Media is a systems design specialist that will help bring your conference or boardroom into the 21st century and deliver presentations that cut through. From pre-design all the way through training you how to use and maintain your new system and equipment, Fathom Media is committed to your success, and it's more affordable than you may think. Communicating to clients, employees, and even customers doesn't have to be complicated. From business applications to churches and schools, Fathom Media will deliver your message using the latest and most effective technology for audio, video conferencing, interactive video walls, smartboards, kiosks, digital signage, and more. Choose Fathom Media. For a free design technology consultation, go to fathommedia.com. fathommedia.com. Remember when you were a kid and summer camp wasn't exactly something you look forward to? I mean, it was okay, but just not that many different things to do. It's time to put some excitement into summer camp. Check out Dangerous Camp for Boys and over 20 other summer day camps from Northridge Prep. Dangerous Camp is dangerously fun, not unsafe, and is designed to get your boys off their iPads, iPhones, and video games this summer, and get them throwing water balloons, playing games, and learning the meaning of outdoor adventure. Remember that? Northridge Prep, the all-boys school in Niles, instills traditional values you hold as parents. Their summer programs for boys in grades 1 through 8 combine fun, adventure, and character growth. There's basketball camps led by a former NCAA Division I coach and varsity players, battles of the Civil War, bugs and botany, intro to musical improv, and more. Even a robotics camp where campers learn to build, pilot, and code their own robots. Get your son off the couch and into the outdoors and have fun this summer. Learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. northridgeprep.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson at your kisses on my list, little investor. I'm Tom Brokaw, and I allegedly sexually harassed you in the 1990s. And she didn't want his kiss on her lips, or lisp.
Are you going to talk about Cosby with the googly eye?
Let's talk about Bill Cosby for just a second right here. He was found guilty on all 3 counts yesterday, and saw actually Geraldo speaking about this last night. You know, he's a lawyer.
Oh, I tell you, and he's been involved in a few of these scandals.
Well, that was funny. He should have recused himself from the discussion.
Yeah.
It was back in the 70s, and we all did this stuff. Well,
Apparently
Geraldo
it was
did.
in.
So he said, and I thought of this myself as well.
Okay.
The judge allowed 5 witnesses to testify. It's just like prunes. Are 5 enough? Are 7 too many? I'm not sure that this might be reversed on appeal because there were too many of these people brought in, other accusers. It's like having to prove 6 different cases. The other thing, though, is the thing that really I found convincing to get Cosby was he said in a deposition years ago in a civil case that he admitted to giving quaaludes to these women. That's it. Game over.
I mean, this is, first of all, let's have a little cigar bet. One
Okay.
that I like to make because, number 1, I pay wholesale. Number 2, you don't
Sure.
smoke.
Exactly.
He will not do 1 day.
Well,
Not
no, with all the
one
appeals.
day in prison.
But look at his legacy. His legacy was Cliff Huxtable. It was Fred. Hey. He was all that. And now he's nothing. I remember Cosby when he did his Noah routine. What's a cubit, Lord? I know. I've seen Cosby 3 times in concert.
Here's my question.
3 times.
I've never seen him. Here's my question.
Joan Rivers opened for him at the Mill Run Theater. I saw Bill Cosby.
Now, you being my lawyer, I don't want to incriminate myself, but I
Sure.
have to say this. If this guy had done this to all of these women, how come no one beat the hell out of him in a driveway?
Oh.
I mean, you know what? We're
Right.
husbands, we're boyfriends, we're sons, we're fathers.
He was
You're gonna tell
protected.
me?
He was protected by his partner, Robert Culp, in I Spy.
I mean, it's so
Yeah, it's a good question.
I have a real concern about the years of silence. I think, first of all, he admitted to giving you quail. That's it. It's
Let me
over with.
establish a baseline with you. Do you believe Roy Moore's accusers, because they waited 4 decades, are not telling the truth?
Ray Moore had
Roy
a
Moore.
pattern that.
So does Cosby.
Well, here's the difference. Ray Moore had a pattern
Roy Moore.
that the community knew of, accepted, and were aware
The
of.
community of Hollywood knew. Did
Roy
you see
Moore-
Tina Fey at that awards ceremony?
The prima
saying,
facie
Bill
evidence.
Cosby after Hannibal Buress. He's the guy who actually started the whole thing. It took a black comedian to come out and say, "What about Bill Cosby?"
Well,
Right.
they're two mutually exclusive things. But I will say this: Roy Moore, the prima facie evidence to Roy Moore is his own wife. He started dating her when she was 16 or 17 years old.
Excellent point.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
is a
ridiculous.
great
I don't
point.
need to prove anything. As far as Bill Cosby is concerned,
Yes.
the complacency of his wife I find astonishing.
Camille, he would do these routines. Sean, I saw him 3 times. Did I mention I saw him 3 times
All
in
right, I
concert?
think you
They
did.
were all family oriented. It was all about his home life with Camille. It was so warm and so funny. And what do I do with how do I get my 1980s back?
I just remember in
Bill
the
Cosby.
90s when the Clintons would wheel him out like he was, he was all down with.
And he was in
them.
recent years, he was all about responsibility of young black men and all that stuff.
That's when his trouble started.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of simultaneous with him
Hoist-
calling out the community there.
Hoisted by his own petard, cha-cha. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Now you will get ready for the Zim Zam and the Babbity Bibbity, and you will take off your clothes like voo and voom, and get ready for the most splendiferous pudding pop you have ever seen.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
Spring. The birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming, the lawnmower is not starting. Get Mechanic in a Bottle. Mechanic in a Bottle fixes poor or non-running engines by cleaning the fuel system. No more costly repairs. Just one bottle of Mechanic in a Bottle should do the job. Available at the Home Depot, Tractor Supply, and Walmart, or visit mechanicinaBottle.com. Trusted by engine and equipment manufacturers everywhere. Also look for Ethanol Shield Fuel Stabilizer, because treating your fuel all year prevents trouble in the spring.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek.
Thanks, Mike. So far, Edens and Kennedy still in pretty good shape. However, Eisenhower now stacking up between 25th Avenue and Harlem, and again from Western into the Burn Circle interchange. 390 into downtown takes 34 minutes, 21 in from Manheim. On the outbound side, you need 17 to Manheim, half hour to Route 390. Inbound Stevenson slow 1st Avenue to Kedzie, 355 to the drive at 44 minutes, 34 from the Tri-State. Outbound side is all clear. Dan Ryan, 95th into downtown, give yourself 22 minutes. It's very heavy between the Stevenson interchange and the Burn interchange. Express lanes start backing up around 31st Street. Fortunately, on the reverse trip, all clear at just 15 minutes from downtown to 95th. This report brought to you by Al Piemonte Ford. Stop before you buy your new car. You must visit Al Piemonte Ford now. Truckloads of new cars and trucks have just arrived, and everything is priced to sell quickly. Al Piemonte Ford is at 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine with a couple of late afternoon showers, high 61. Passing shower for the evening. Otherwise, patchy clouds tonight, breezy with a low 37. Tomorrow, still breezy, sun and patchy clouds, high 50. And at night, clearing cold with a low 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
45 at O'Hare, 42 along Chicago's lakefront. 5:58, here are the stories that we are following on AM 560, The Answer. The news is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. A Dalton police officer is out of the hospital after he was the victim of a shooting in Chicago this week. A Cook County judge releases several documents in pretrial proceedings in the murder trial of former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. Senators in Illinois want residents to swap out opioid prescriptions for medical marijuana. A union is accusing an Indiana-based maker of gummy bears and other candies of disrupting its efforts to organize the factory's workers. Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has a new building block. Chicago selects linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia with the number 8 pick overall in the first round of the NFL draft. Cubs blank the Brewers. White Sox out-homer the Royals. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Will the Korean War finally officially end? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Both sides say they want that. That's the moment when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un walked across the border for the first time to meet with South Korea's President Moon Jae-in. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in striking an upbeat tone as they sat down for talks, the first between Korean leaders in 11 years. Kim saying this is just the start and the tip of an iceberg. Moon said, I believe this can be a big gift for our citizens and everyone around the world. The leaders pledging to rid the Korean peninsula of nuclear weapons, although they have said that before, and agree a peace treaty this year that would officially end the Korean War. Dave?
Now, Simon, the president just tweeted about the historic meeting, writing, good things are happening, but only time will tell. Hours after he was confirmed and sworn in, the new Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is holding talks with NATO.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has hit the ground running at NATO headquarters in Brussels, coming, of course, on the heels of his secret meeting with the North Korean dictator, which really laid the groundwork for much of this and certainly the upcoming summit. President Trump congratulating Pompeo, calling him a patriot and an incredible asset for the country.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. President Trump also tweeted about the FBI director he fired, writing, James Comey is either very sick or very dumb. Repeating his claim, Comey's a liar who illegally leaked classified information. Comey told Fox's Bret Baier last night.
He's just wrong. Facts really do matter, which is why I'm on the show to answer your questions. That memo was unclassified then. It's still unclassified.
Well, Comey says he did not leak it. He gave the info about his meetings with the president to a friend to make public. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Your yard is not just a yard. It's a baseball diamond, a water park, a movie theater, and a grand banquet hall. Your yard is where memories are made, and you have the best seat in the house with the John Deere X350 Select Series tractor. Now equipped with the exclusive one-touch mulch control system, you can tell your clippings where to go, out the chute, or back into your lawn with just the push of a button. Nothing runs like family, and nothing runs like a Deere. Visit your local John Deere dealer to test drive one today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are in Mexico. We'll hear from them later. And boy, they picked a bad day to be off because there's so much news. The Korean War, in case you just heard it,
over.
It's over. It's all over. They signed I guess General Lee, not Robert E. Lee, but I figured the guy's name is Lee.
What's the definition of over? Can the North Koreans leave now voluntarily?
No. The war against his own people is
that's still going on, like Venezuela, like Chicago Democrats. That's going on.
But we're bringing our troops home.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes ago at 10:01 this morning, the truce was signed in Panmunjom. The hostilities will end 12 hours from now at 10 o'clock. The war is over!
Hey, attaboy, earn it. I never watched MASH.
Oh, I never missed it.
I watched the the finale, but I never watched MASH.
See,
I watched Hello Larry with McLean Stevenson, his subsequent show, which was a disaster.
In the
but
70s,
I never watched MASH.
There were a couple shows when you were a kid in the 70s
Yeah.
that when you watched them, you felt like you were doing something wrong, like Saturday Night Live.
Exactly.
You felt like you were, oh, my God, I can't believe the adults are letting me get away with this. And MASH was one of them because it had that overtone with Hot Lips and Frank Burns.
Right.
You
know what show I watched in the 80s with my family? Bill Cosby show.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
And now?
Bill Cosby. Now, his attorney yesterday, did you see his attorney, this guy named Mesereau? He's got this long, flowing white hair. Why are these defense attorneys so flamboyant all the time?
Because they have to distract you from what's actually going on with their clients.
Would you believe a guy like this, with the white flowing hair?
We are very disappointed by the verdict. We don't think Mr. Cosby's guilty of anything, and the fight is not over. Thank you.
Are you going to appeal, sir?
Yes. Yes, very strongly.
There may be grounds for an appeal because the judge allowed 5 people to testify, and apparently, 2 is the max. I don't understand. I'm not a criminal attorney. I don't understand
As
that.
much as I despise these kind of attorneys, and I do, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Johnny Cochran and all these guys. You realize when you have this lowlife Comey, this head of the FBI, you realize when you have these politically idealistical driven scoundrels in charge of things, that you need these types of defense attorneys. Because the scariest thing in a society is when you don't have the ability to defend yourself against the tyrannical, agenda-driven government.
Although I got to tell you, I had a chance to interview Johnny Cochran. He used to do these hallway ambush interviews on Channel 32 after the celebrity. After the celebrity would actually be interviewed by the host, and they would toss the softball questions to the guy because Johnny Cochran had moved to Chicago to try to establish a practice here. And so I was told, hey, go interview Johnny Cochran. He's so much fun. And I said, I can't really do it because there's only one question I want to ask, and that is, you must have really wrestled with your conscience because you knew O.J. was guilty and you had to lie in front of the jury and cause jury nullification. So I never did the interview with him.
Well, this is one of my third rail topics with you, and you know this.
Yeah.
Much like when you asked me about the lunar landing, I still don't like what they did to Laika, the dog. Where's the dog? No one cared at Sputnik. Dog never came back.
Now, you mentioned Jim Comey, and we're going to be talking with Bret Baier next hour, like 1 hour from now. So stick around, folks.
Exciting.
You won't want to miss this. Bret Baier interviewed Jim Comey yesterday. It was an exhaustive interview. It went on for about 40 minutes, and then they had a panel afterwards. And one of the questions Comey was asked was, here's his response.
My recollection was there was a significant amount of additional material about Page and why there was probable cause to believe he was an agent of a foreign power. And the dossier was part of that, but was not all of it or a critical part of it.
And he said it was part of the mosaic. No, sir, Senator. Andrew McCabe said that it was the sine qua non, which is legalese, if I may, right here, Sean, but for the dossier, there is no warrant to spy on or surveil Carter Page. So that is directly against what the overwhelming body of evidence is about the dossier. And Jim Comey had the chutzpah, to say that in front of Bret Baier yesterday.
You mark my words, Wolfie. This is going to lead to Obama's door. Because if you want me to believe, and it's going to be in his book, he talk about hoisted by his own petard. Now, granted, he made a quick $4 million. You realize with the book sales that he claims, that's what he made.
600,000 copies.
No. It's more than that. 750 as of this morning, or 7 something.
600 yesterday.
And it's unlike Obama's books where they get the colleges to buy it forever, so it's a constant flow of cash.
How about
Unlike
Hillary's
that scam.
Hillary's in the remainder bin at Crocs and Brentanos, which doesn't exist anymore.
Please, what happened? Anyway, you took me completely off.
I know. That's my.
Unlike that, this is going to lead to the fact, well, if Obama didn't know, and this is what I want to ask, why didn't he know? Isn't your job as the head of the FBI to put this somewhere in a brief where Obama should be aware of this? Let's say it was going on. Let's for argument's sake, assume absolutely he was in collusion. He was working with the ex-KGB. Isn't this something that Barack Obama should have absolutely known about?
But there's no collusion. It is going to go back to Barack Obama because Obama also circumvented the rules on the secrecy that you're supposed to have and used a private server to communicate with Hillary Clinton, or he knew that Clinton was using a private server. He wasn't supposed to do that. He was going under a pseudonym. This comes back. Barack Obama is culpable, too. That's why they made sure that the FBI did a charade of an investigation of Hillary Clinton, which Brett Baer asked him about yesterday. Why did Cheryl Mills get to act as the attorney for Hillary Clinton? And he says, well, we'd already scrubbed her. No, you hadn't. You hadn't done anything. You could have gotten her to flip on Hillary Clinton.
Comey's interviews are why lawyers don't want you to talk to the police without him, because he's hanging himself at every corner. I really believe he is. And his two-bit, like every con man and wannabe gangster, his defense is, I didn't really know that much about it. Oh, but I went forward with the deal, or I went forward with the pitch anyway, but I didn't know where it came from. That was the astonishing part of that interview.
Now, this is why Donald Trump yesterday, when he was on Fox and Friends in the morning, was really exercised.
He represents me, like with this crazy Stormy Daniels deal. He represented me, and, from what I see, he did absolutely nothing wrong.
See, and that's referring to Michael Cohen, of course, but they go after Manafort. They go after Cohen. They are zealously pursue these cases, break in the middle of the night, disturb the guy's wife and whatever. But with Hillary Clinton, let's bring her in for an interview. She's, of course, not under oath. Let's let her say things that are totally unbelievable, like, I don't know what the letter C stands for in a document when she's been the Secretary of State for years. She might as well have said, C stands for cookie, it's good enough for me. They let all that go, and then they let her off the hook by saying, well, she was extremely careless, which somehow doesn't rise to the level of being grossly negligent.
And here's the brilliance of the distraction. They allowed Manafort to operate as a low-life fraud for 40 years, right? With Blackstone and Manafort, the torturers lobby. They allow they need that kind of dirt on people so that when they want to shut them up, when they want to stop them, they then could bring it out. That's why I really do. The real collusion isn't between Russians and Trump. The collusion is between the corporatists in the Democrat Party and the frauds in the Republican Party.
Well, but, I like, you got guys like Podesta. Like, he was working with the Russians. Everybody's...
How about old man Kennedy, the drunken stumblebum, the lion of the Senate? Remember in Reagan with 84?
Yeah.
He was back then the Cold War was on, baby.
He made an agreement, allegedly, they deny it, that he went to Russia and he made an agreement with them that to try to undermine Reagan's election. Obama tried to interfere in the Israeli election. He tried to get Netanyahu out. People do this stuff. Countries do this to each other all the time.
It's nice to finally hear Democrats talk ill of Soviets for once, instead of adopting their policies.
Well, exactly, because it was the Russian reset that Hillary started. Remember that button that she couldn't get to work? Obama, it's Trump who's actually fought in Syria against the Russians.
Well, it's these topics that make me sympathize with Trump, that make me appreciate Trump, because I do appreciate a lot of things about him. I disagree on a macro level with his Trumponomics. I do disagree strongly with bombing in Syria. That now is showing itself as a mistake, especially when you have the low life in Iran with the hygiene of organic potatoes, with the costume on, with the towel on. That guy is a bad dude. And yesterday he calls for everyone to unite against America. And now what? We're going to bomb Syria again next week?
Let's go to Candace from DuPage. You're disappointed in Brett Baer's interview, Candace?
Yeah, good morning. Now I watched the whole thing last night.
Okay.
And I was a little disappointed because I can't stand this incredulous look like, what? I would like a little bit more of a backlash from reporters on Fox News when somebody is blatantly lying, and they're experts at it because they are FBI. They're absolute experts.
Well,
at
here's the thing.
Body language, everything.
Brett Baer.
I would like a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you.
Go ahead. No,
Candace.
go ahead.
No, I thank
Go ahead.
you. I'm sorry. It's my major flaw. Here's the thing. Brett Baer's not an attorney, but he did a Tim Russert-like job in interviewing Jim Comey.
No,
now,
Tim
he could.
Russert. No.
Wait,
Tim,
can I finish my point? Can I finish my point?
Tim Russert.
No.
Tim Russert
No, you
would
can't.
have railed on him for what he said last night. Tim
Look,
Russert would lie to. I mean, he would get mad at people when they lied.
Well, that's
That
just
didn't
that.
happen
Look,
with Brett Baer.
look. That's just demeanor. What I'm saying is, when Comey says, in answer to the question, why did you let Cheryl Mills act as the attorney for Hillary Clinton? Well, he says, well, we'd already scrubbed her. We'd already investigated her. Well, that's the problem. He's engaging in a question-begging exercise. Did you actually investigate Cheryl Mills properly? You could have gotten her to flip on Hillary because Cheryl Mills knew that Hillary Clinton wasn't using the proper kind of server. So, but Brett could only take it so far. That's up to Joe DeGenova and these other attorneys to make the legal arguments that way, Candace. You're too hard.
She wants pro wrestling. They want pro wrestling. That's what the Trump people want. Give me pro wrestling. Get up and storm out. Hit him with your papers. Let him keep talking.
You get the
Let
last
him keep
word,
hanging himself.
Candace.
I thought he did great.
Go ahead, Candace. You get the last word.
Okay. Well, it was a great interview, and I thought the panel afterwards actually was great because three of them said that he was absolutely full of hooey, and then the one woman who was like the liberal said, "Well, I don't know about that."
Exactly. Mara Eliason. They always put her on there just, to show that they're somewhat fair and balanced. Thank you, Candace. Appreciate
Bruce,
the call.
Who was the guy that looked like an out-of-work private investigator with the son of Svengoolie hairdo?
Joe DeGenova.
Okay. I was distracted by the whole thing. My word.
Hey, don't make fun of Son of Svengoolie. I look like him, too.
Nah,
People
not
think
half
that
as
I
much
look
as that guy.
George from Libertyville. Good morning.
Hey guys, great show this morning. A lot of fun.
Thank you.
I think this, like you guys were saying, this is going to go right to Obama's feet, and the scrambling that must be going on there is incredible. And I'll tell you, when people in all the radio shows are, why does Trump tweet so much? The guy is a one-man army. I mean, who is giving this guy fair coverage?
Right.
You feel bad for the guy that he's sitting there saying, I have to go directly to the American people with this information because no one else is going to do it for me.
George, it's going to come out. It's going to come out through the Inspector General. I mean, one of the things that we have found is, what was Andrew McCabe lying about? He was lying about the fact that he had not told the Wall Street Journal. He actually had told the Wall Street Journal. He actually had leaked to them. But what was he leaking about? It was the fact that the Obama appointees in the Department of Justice were trying to get him to scotch the Clinton Foundation investigation. Those are Obama appointees in the Department of Justice. It's going up and up and up the chain. Right, George?
Well, how about even with, I agree, and you're right, but how about even Comey's answer to why would Hillary be allowed to hammer all of her cell phones? Well, that's something that people do when they want to make sure everything's destroyed. Right. I've owned probably 150 cell phones. Never.
What are you, a drug
was
dealer?
Never part of the equation.
Who owns 150 cell phones?
He's talking to us on the one he's talking to us on right
Listen,
now. He's going to get rid of
the
after
one-
this call. Thank you, George.
The one that bothers me is the Asian guy or married to that creature feature. Oh my word. And how she's involved with the creation of Fusion GPS and the absolute political front group that is.
It's funny that you mentioned that because on Channel 26 on Saturday nights, Joe DeGenova introduces movies with Orr's wife in them. It's Anne Marie Ospenskaya. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Today is 60, and then, Bruce, tonight it's back to the turtlenecks. Everyone's going to be dressed like a cat burglar. I mean, is it ever going to be spring? It's just ridiculous. I'm not going to even do the weather on Sunday because I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Florida, that's it. Just like every conservative Republican should do during this election. Now let's go to Derek Peters for traffic. Where are the people skipping work today?
Well, I'll start with the good news. On the outbound Bishop Ford, that lingering overnight road work has finally been cleared from about 115th Street. Now just takes 15 minutes from the Dan Ryan to 8094. On the inbound side, takes 2 minutes more, just 17 from 8094 to the Dan Ryan. Slight delay heading into that Ryan merge. On the inbound, Ryan delays start at 31st Street in the express lanes and at the Stevenson interchange in the local lanes, and those continue into the Burns Circle. 95th to downtown takes 23 minutes. Outbound side is all clear. Inbound Stevenson stop and go from First Avenue to Kedzie. 355 to the drive at 50 minutes. 40 in from the Tri-State. Outbound side takes just 24. Lakeshore to the Tri-State. 34 to 355. If you're headed in on the Ike, give yourself 39 minutes from 390 into the old post office. 26 in from Manheim. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Americans in every tax bracket got a tax cut thanks to the tax bill signed into law last year, which means you've got more money to spend on what's important to you. Democrats in Congress who voted against the tax cuts are promising to raise your taxes if they win in November. They want your money back to spend on their priorities, and only you can stop them. To find out how much more money you'll be bringing home, go to taxcutswork.com. There's an easy-to-use calculator that tells you how much money the new tax cuts are saving you this year and next. Check your savings at taxcutswork.com and then sign a letter to Congress telling them to keep their hands off your tax cut savings. The Tax Cuts Work Tour is coming to the Fauna International at 1900 Averill Road in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Meet small business owners, elected officials, and the folks from Job Creators Network to hear how the tax cuts are working and share your story, too. That's Fauna International in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Learn more at taxcutswork.com.
Ed, get in here and shut the door.
What's up, boss?
What's up? You have to ask, Ed?
Yes, sir, usually, sir.
Ed, you're naked as a jaybird.
Correctamundo, sir, just as you ordered.
I what?
You told us Jimmy John's was going on natural, sir.
No, Ed, I told you our meats are now all natural.
Huh?
That's meats, Ed, not employees.
Oh, I get it now. It's our meats that are all natural.
Yes, Ed. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
How embarrassing.
No kidding. It's a good thing I got to you before your first delivery.
Yeah, well, I already spread the word, sir, and...
Naked? Oh, no.
He's what? Naked?
He's naked.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
There's a lot going on with your mouth. It's how you communicate through speech and your smile. It's where you put food to fuel your body. It's how you show affection to your loved ones. The health of your mouth and teeth are so important, and Dentistry for All Ages in Elk Grove Village can help keep your mouth and teeth in excellent condition. When is the last time you had a dental checkup? It's suggested every 6 months. Dr. Leischner and Dr. Fernelli at Dentistry for All Ages focus on comprehensive consultations and most dental services. But start with an oral cancer screening using Velscope. It sounds technical, but it's a really simple process. And right now, you can get a free oral cancer screening with your dental cleaning and exam. Dentistry for All Ages is in Elk Grove Village, Suite 660 in the Eberly Building in Alexian Brothers Hospital, with a convenient indoor parking garage located on the first 4 floors. Call 847-439-2445 for an appointment, or go to dentistryforallage.com. Dentistryforallage.com.
Refresh and restock at CVS Pharmacy, where it's easy to save big on hundreds of everyday items with these great deals. This week only, stock up and save on 6-roll packs of Scott paper towels, just $5.49. And treat yourself to a sweet deal on M&Ms, just 2 for $6. Restrictions apply. See cvs.com/weekly ad for details. Feel good, save money at your neighborhood CVS Pharmacy.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company.
a top-quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd. It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
Hey everyone, Ken here from the award-winning company Income Store. If you were lost and scared in a forest, would you rather have a guide map or a guide standing next to you? Both will lead you out of the forest, one's just a bit more expeditious. When it comes to making more money, have you ever felt lost? Does it drive you a little batty when you know there's people out there, teenagers even, that are adding a different revenue stream, even in different industries, each and every year of their lives? Don't you know deep down there has to be a path out of what we call the financial forest? You know it's there, you just haven't found it yet. For almost a decade now, Income Store has provided guide maps to the do-it-yourselfers, the folks that have considerably more time than money, but they've also been the trusted guide to those with more money than time. If you're ready to stop bouncing around this thing we call the financial forest and serious about adding a second, third, or even fourth revenue model to your home or business, then you have to check out the 5-time Inc. 5000 Income Store. That's incomestore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
This could be... See, I had to vamp. I had to sing this song here, and I don't know the lyrics because you're out of the studio.
I was...
cavorting.
Listen,
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson.
I like talking news with the smartest news guy in radio.
Tom Brokaw's not here. He's suspended right now because Linda Vester, a former NBC employee, has accused me of sexual harassment that I grabbed her and I tried to make her kiss me in the 1990s. Yeah.
And I feel
Tom
bad
Brokaw accused of that.
I mean, it really. What if it's not true? Anybody ever stop to think about it?
It's true. I want to believe it. If you want to believe it, it's true. It's true. Now, you know how Kid Gloves treatment was given to Hillary, but they go after go after Trump with a zeal to try to find something that isn't there, Russian collusion.
Sure.
Well, on a smaller scale, we got Scott Pruitt. He's our guy at the EPA. all right? And he's really good, and that's why the Democrats are going after him, whereas they didn't go after any of the Obama appointees, especially at EPA. Here's Elizabeth Warren on the warpath in the Senate.
There are many reasons to oppose this nomination, but the main reason for me is pretty straightforward.
Well, that's Ronnie
Mike
Jackson.
Pompeo is completely unfit to...
Wrong one.
Yeah, just insert different name.
Okay,
It's going to be the same
deal.
speech.
It's the same deal.
Speech.
It's Mike Pompeo.
Anybody put up by Trump, that's pretty much high cheekbones, who's
Right.
a walking fraud. And the idea that this woman is somehow the higher echelon in the Soviet party known as the Democrats shows you exactly how
She's an
incompetent
American Indian?
and corrupt they are.
I'm 132nd Chicago Blackhawk. Yeah.
She's got high
Darcy
cheekbones.
Rhoda. I got Darcy Rhoda blood.
She's got high cheekbones, and her grandmama told her a story where they somehow, they got in with the Indians.
When we go to the newsroom right now, I want you to get Adele's "Rolling in the Deep." You can sing an Indian love chant to that.
No,
we could have had it all from the land of sky blue waters. Trust me, it works.
I'm the cowboy side of that agreement. No Indian here.
Let's go to the newsroom. Mike Scott.
Outside, we have clearing skies this morning, 49 degrees. The Korean War is finally, formally coming to an end. 65 years after the fighting stopped, correspondent Bill Neely was on hand as history was made today.
Kim Jong-un did what no North Korean leader has ever done and stepped across the DMZ, and there was a warm handshake with South Korean President Moon. They even walked back across into North Korea. There was obvious and sudden warmth between the two men.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in have agreed to officially end the Korean conflict. They're calling for complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. All this ahead of President Trump's reported meeting with the North Korean leader upcoming within weeks. President Trump welcomes German Chancellor Angela Merkel to the White House today. Merkel is expected to press Trump to keep the U.S. in the Iran nuclear deal or negotiate a new deal with all parties at hand. A one-time police officer accused of being the infamous Golden State Killer is due in court today. Joseph D'Angelo will be arraigned in Sacramento, California Superior Court. Police arresting the 72-year-old D'Angelo Wednesday. He's charged with 8 counts of murder after a crime spree that went on for 10 years in the 1970s and 80s. Mayor Emanuel is introducing a controversial multi-purpose ID card. It's called City Key. It's a government-issued ID that works as a Ventra card and a library card. The first 100,000 to apply receive the Chicago City Key free of charge. Chicago police are investigating whether former security guards at Holy Name Cathedral had a part in stealing close to $100,000 from the church's collection plate. The Tribune reporting that while no one is in custody, suspects have been identified. Those suspects are believed to have been employed by Monterey Security. In Springfield, Governor Rauner ramped up his war of words with the state's comptroller yesterday. AM 560's David Stewart has a review of the day in Springfield.
Democratic State Controller Susana Mendoza recently said the late payment penalties the state has racked up in the last 2 years are more than in the previous 18 years. But Governor Rauner says Mendoza is part of the problem.
She voted for the deficits that have created the unpaid bills. She created the problem, and now she puts out a memo and says, oh, it's the governor's fault. Are you kidding me?
Rauner says Mendoza is one of a pack of rascals and scoundrels misrepresenting the truth, and he says his budget would help to address the backlog of unpaid state bills. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Bump stocks are a step closer to being illegal in Illinois. The Illinois Senate yesterday approved a ban on the stocks, which can help someone fire a rifle faster than simply just pulling the trigger. Chicago Democrat Kwame Raoul says Illinois needs its own ban because Congress is unlikely to act on bump stocks. Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has a new linebacker for the middle of his defense. Chicago is selecting linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia with the 8th overall pick in the first round of the NFL draft. Chicago has 1 pick tonight in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, number 39 overall. Cubs blanked the Brew Crew at Wrigley Field 1-0 in the first of 4. Yoan Moncada hit one of 5 White Sox home runs in a 6-3 victory over the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. The news is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's Save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's mind.
How do they reconcile their self-image as intellectually open with their practice of intellectually being closed? They really believe that there is no other way to approach life than a left-wing way. So you are not being intellectually closed by not allowing a conservative to speak.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
At Joe Cotton Ford, we're making it fun and easy for you to buy your next new vehicle. It's all because of the Joe Cotton Ford promise. No one treats you better, and no one works harder to save you money. For 44 years, we've been treating our customers like family. We're here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your needs and budget. And talk about prices, right now lease the exciting 2018 Truck of the Year, the F-150 STX 4x4 Crew Cab for just $299 per month for 24 months. Come see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience and why Ford is America's best-selling brand. We'll show you all of the Joe Cotton Ford exclusives that make a Ford from Joe Cotton a better value, like 2 years free maintenance and rental car coverage. It's our promise to you we'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com.
To qualified buyers, 24-month FMCC red carpet low mileage lease, $29.95 down plus taxes and fees. First month's payment due at delivery. See dealer for details.
Coming up on 6:35, let's get an update on the early morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek Peters.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic really starting to pack in on the inbound Eisenhower between Manheim and Harlem. 390 into downtown, a 45-minute trip at the moment. Takes 32 minutes if you're coming from Manheim. On the outbound side, just a little slow from Harlem to 9th Avenue. Post Office to Manheim takes 20 minutes, 33 out to Route 390. Inbound Stevenson, stop and go from Harlem to Kedzie, 355 to the drive. It just under an hour. Takes 48 minutes in from the Tri-State. Outbound is more or less clear. Inbound Dan Ryan, you need 25 minutes from 95th into downtown. Delays begin at 31st Street in the local lanes. Express lanes are no better. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit card account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny. We'll have a couple of showers late in the afternoon. High of 61. We could use a bit of rain. Passing shower in the evening. Otherwise, a bit chilly. Low 38. Cooler with sunshine and patchy clouds. High near 50 tomorrow. Currently, we have 46 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
From the land of sky blue waters comes the big fresh taste of hams. From the loft of
Save it for Monday. Save it for Monday.
Elizabeth Warren's theme song. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, I just found out in the break room.
Yeah.
You're gonna be cheating on me.
Yeah, I'm cheating on you. Monday and Tuesday with Amy Jacobson.
It's not gonna be as good. You peaked with me, baby. It's not going to be as good. Book it, Mike Scott.
So coming up, well, it's going to be difficult to top what we're going to have at 7 o'clock because Brett Baer will join us.
Until he finds out you're here, then we're going to have problems.
Right, and then we're going to talk to him about his interview with Jim Comey yesterday, in which Comey gave evasive answers like this.
I'm not allowed to comment on the way in which the grand jury was used. I can say this, though. She was not interviewed in front of a grand jury, which is another judgment call that prosecutors and investigators make all the time.
Yeah, it's a judgment call when you want to have a charade of an investigation of a matter, as Loretta Lynch called it. And then Comey was all exercised. Oh, we're calling it a matter. It should really be an investigation. But it wasn't an investigation because they handed out attorney-client privilege and immunity. They didn't even use immunity, like candy. And that's the problem.
Keep
of course,
talking,
yeah.
and maybe we'll get out of that Obama library yet. Keep talking, because it's going all the way up to the big guy.
So, speaking of cases that did finally reach adjudication, Bill Cosby yesterday, after he's found guilty.
Did they ever find out what happened to the eye? I'm still confused by that eye that always faces north. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
My eye?
No, Bill Cosby with the googly eye. What happens to people? I see them on the street.
Right.
I'm trying to talk to them. They got one eye going the other way.
Sure.
I can't focus on it.
Right. You
Distracted easily.
Can't trust those people. So Cosby, after the verdict is read, the prosecution doesn't want him to be out on bail. And they're afraid that he's a flight risk, that he has a private plane. And Cosby says, I don't have a private plane, you a-hole.
Now,
he said that in open
for him.
court.
I like these surly old guys. And
When
I'll tell
did he
you another
start
thing.
working blue?
You're one of these slip and fall lawyers. Obviously, you can't afford an infomercial.
I
when
actually
you give out the
tried.
same number all day long. You
Actually-
slip, you fall, I feel the pain.
I tried a
Did
slip
you?
and fall case.
How'd
yes.
that go?
It was okay. I was on the defense side.
You know what you need, in case you haven't been watching the news? You need one of those cheesy toupees that looks like the first decision you made in the morning was to stick double-sided tape on your head. That's the decision.
Can I tell you how you argue to the jury on a slip and fall case when you're on the defense side? You basically say to the jury, they expected, actually, when you're on the plaintiff's side.
No wonder you didn't get the job.
Right, when you're on the plaintiff's side. Oh, the defense expects my client to be like a Snoopy dog and to have its head facing down to see if the floor was wet. That's not what a reasonable person does.
It's lawyers like you that keep that
Isn't that a
hourly
winning
wage down.
argument? Yeah.
Okay. The thing I have a question legally, if I may get some cheap legal advice,
Sure.
which is the only kind you give.
I can't give legal advice right now because I'm not registered to be an attorney in Illinois right now.
Oh, shocking.
Okay.
Didn't come up with the due money, huh? Anyway.
Or take the continuing legal education. Go ahead.
And what about the statute of limitations?
With regard to Cosby. Well, this is why they had the 2004 case. It still fell under the statute.
It's 2018. I thought it was 7 years.
For this case, obviously the statute.
For this
didn't
case, they
apply
make it
here.
up, like they do all the other laws.
But they were allowed to bring in people who were allegedly molested in the 1980s to testify, even though they cannot get their day in court.
What about the
anymore.
other guy that the girl crawled out of the woodwork now, who needs a job or money or something, and says he harassed her in the 90s?
Oh, Tom Brokaw.
Yeah. What about that?
I think the statute's gone on that too. It was
Right.
already told. So Tom Brokaw is safe that way, but will he be on MSNBC anymore, giving us his expertise?
I didn't know he was still on.
Well, no,
I mean,
they have him in a corner. They actually have an animatronic Tom Brokaw there from
As
Disney
an old
World.
newscaster such as yourself,
Yes.
where do you people put your money in? Sanka stock? How come you never go away? You're just around till we throw you in the ground. I never saw anything like it. The other guy that they wheel out on the Sunday shows, these guys can barely talk, and all of a sudden they're experts.
Wait, who else do they wheel out?
There's another guy.
They're
other
all
than
old
Brokaw.
guys. Len O'Connor is still doing stuff on Channel 5. So
You
anyway,
had the pensions of Chicago firemen. We'd never see you again.
are you going to argue against firefighters? Are you going to say
70% of the country's volunteer, but in Chicago they're paid like neurosurgeons.
Are you?
I don't know.
Are you good? These people save our lives.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you're trying to make it sound like they just sit there and have other jobs and play cards all the
As
time?
we sit there right now, they're cooking breakfast, playing PlayStation 4. I know.
I don't want to be hosed by a Chicago fireman when I come out of here today.
If my house
All right.
burns, I promise I won't call anybody.
No, that's going to be very, very difficult. All right, so we're going to be talking to Brett Baer seriously after 7 o'clock. Be on your best behavior here. I want to make an impression.
I
with
so
Brett
want to
Baer.
ask him about
So-
great cars from the 80s and 70s because, that's my wheelhouse.
What, Brett Baer?
Oh, he's a
a
big car
golfer
guy.
too. He
Big
interviewed the Dalai Lama and asked him about Caddyshack. I got to ask him about that. That was the
No,
most.
you can't. You ask him every time. You ask the same questions. You're
I
like
never,
my Auntie
I
Bing.
never
Same
asked him about
conversation
Caddyshack.
for 18 years.
All right, your opinions. Give us a call right now. It's at 312-642-5600. What do you think of the Duchess and Duchess of Cambridge
See, I wanna
naming their child Louis Arthur Charles and not using Mohammed, which is the most popular male name in Great Britain? Yes, stand up and salute. Yes.
So we're not going to...
Louis Arthur Charles will now be brought for circumcision.
cares?
Do they do a ceremony like that?
I say it would be. I'd be interested if we could bet on if he's going to have the grandfather's ears or not. I want that kind of stuff.
The Habsburg nose.
Yeah, if he likes women that need jockeys on their back, that's the stuff I want to talk about when we talk about these inbred. Yeah. Because here's the other thing, Wolf, that you didn't want to talk about. We got a big push in this country by the Democrats to not only double down on Obamacare, they want universal health care worldwide. Did you read about this? And they're pairing up with these failures in that inbred country of Great Britain. And they're talking about it's not a big enough failure there that they got the 23-month-old kid dying on a curb like a guppy.
Did you see what happened?
Let's bring it here, too.
Did you see
what
happened
satisfied?
with it? The parents of the 23-month-old kid had to write a letter to the hospital. They said, hey, back off. We got to make amends with the hospital because, as somebody said, the hospital's like Nurse Ratched.
Yeah.
Your attitude isn't good here.
Because as the people of England,
they're begging to get their kid out of the hospital so that he can go to Italy.
Because what they realize is that's not their kid. That's these inbred royalties'
but
kid.
It's their attitude. They had trouble with the parents' attitude. That's what we have in store for us when we have death panels
Lucky that
and
ain't
universal
my kid.
health care.
Because the problem with society is we're too civilized. When's the last time someone was given a good beating?
On that note, are we going to visit from Dan and Amy from Mexico? Yes, we're going to hear from them in Mexico.
How many mimosas has Prof?
That's the kind of drink that I can handle. A Mai Tai, a mimosa. Dan can drink those good brown drinks. He is a man's man with a cigar and a drink.
I don't drink, and I'll beat the hell out of both of you.
Yes, you will.
All right.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
But do you feel people with they just screening for Blau Hour?
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
All right, today is going to be the best day for the next 3. 60 degrees. So I hope you didn't bring your sweater because you're going to need it tonight. It's going to get down to 39. Breezy, it's going to be crazy. Tomorrow, only 50. But it's the weekend, and there probably won't be traffic jams, although Derek Peters will tell us if there are.
Thanks, Sean. Traffic jams on just about every inbound expressway at the moment, unfortunately. Inbound Edens, your delays from Peterson into the junction. Lake Cook to Montrose takes 24 minutes. Inbound Kennedy slow through the River Road Toll Plaza all the way to the junction. Then you get a brief respite between the junction and Irving Park, and then it's slow again into the Burn Circle interchange. O'Hare to downtown takes 45 minutes. 20 in from the junction. Express lanes flowing inbound there at 16 minutes. Inbound Eisenhower 390 into the old post office takes 47 minutes. 34 in from Manheim. Stop and go from Manheim to Harlem, then from Central Avenue into the Burns Circle. Inbound Stevenson just under an hour from 355 into Lakeshore Drive takes 48 inbound from the Tri-State. Inbound Dan Ryan 95th to downtown. Give yourself 26 minutes. I'm Derek Peters in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Higher airfares may be ahead. Fiat Chrysler profits rose 60% during the first quarter, and MetLife cuts executive compensation. Those stories next.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. I want to get a few things straight. First off, I like freedom. Second, I like money. Fact is, I like freedom and money, which is why I love Freedom Checks, a unique investment that can secure your retirement income without being tied down to the government. And while I'm no genius, I am smart enough to follow an expert like Matt, who showed me how anyone has the chance to stake their claim on an estimated $34.6 billion payout. To get all the details from Matt, just go to myfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. Now, how much your check is depends on how much you put behind Matt's insights, but the potential here is undeniable. Of course, if you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion, you must have your ducks in a row ASAP. So don't wait. Go see Matt at myfreedomchecks.com. That's www.myfreedomchecks.com.
American Airlines, the largest air carrier in the world, is predicting higher airfares in the future, with rising fuel costs eating into airline profits. Dallas-based American reported a 45% drop in first quarter profit due to jet fuel increases. General Motors says it made just over $1 billion in the first quarter. GM saw shipments to dealers drop during the past 3 months as factories were closed to retool for new full-sized pickup trucks. Meanwhile, rival Fiat Chrysler has reported a 60% rise in net profits during the first quarter. The car maker shipped over 1 million vehicles from January to March, up 5% from a year earlier. Insurer MetLife has reduced compensation for its top executives due to costly errors. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are two shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
Someday, someone you love will ask for help. And although Lake County Right to Life is not a crisis center, it is an educational and political organization involved in educating the public about current life issues and legislations. They take an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They formed the Lake County PAC to actively work in helping elect local Lake County candidates who are pro-life, pro-family legislators. These people support life-affirming legislation. Please help the cause. A crisis program center saves lives one at a time. Legislation saves thousands of lives. Lake County Right to Life supports women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Good public policy is supposed to protect the most vulnerable and does not impose on a taxpayer to pay for the lesser good, namely abortion. That takes everybody working together. For donations or information, visit lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you from our Passport to Paradise vacation at the Secrets Maroma Beach in Riviera Maya, Mexico, presented by Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, Joe Cotton Ford, Opum Tax Resolution Services, the law offices of Stephen Leahy, all of whom are represented on this trip, and we've had great fun with them. And Amy, what does SCUBA stand for?
Oh, come on. You go scuba diving.
What is SCUBA is an acronym.
No, it's not.
It's not an acronym.
No.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Or that.
So you went scuba diving, not an acronym.
I guess.
On this trip. No. So tell us about the experience, and I'll tell you about the science. Yes.
Well, I've been a certified scuba diver for 10 years now, and I've been on several dives. So
apparently that acronym question is not on the test.
It's not.
Okay.
Okay. Right. It's just a scuba diving.
All right. You just go scuba diving. Got it.
Yes, exactly. And we went, a group of us went to Playa del Carmen, took the ferry over to Cozumel, and that's where the coral wall starts. It goes down 3,000 feet that we know of, and they claim that it goes all the way to China. That's a joke.
And, and this rivals like the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, right?
Well, the Great Barrier Reef right now is white coral. Their coral reef has been bleached because of the changing in the ecosystem with the cold water and the warm water coming in. There's still life inside the coral, but the coral itself is dead, and so it's white coral. That's why it's called bleached coral.
White privileged coral.
So a lot of people now are going to Indonesia if they're heading to that part of the world. They're scuba diving there. So this was perfect. I mean, it is absolutely. We went in and out of caves, which is something I've never done a cave dive before, about 80 feet underwater. And then on our second...
Did you find any sunken treasure?
Did not.
Did you find any sunken U-boats?
No, I didn't.
Did you find any sunken planes?
No, I didn't. But on the second dive...
Okay.
We saw a grouper that was the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
That could be a huge fish.
No, it weighed about a ton. I was like, you know what I said to him?
JB
Pritzker. He's underwater.
You named him.
I did. I named him JB.
That's nice. Well, that's an honor.
I mean, it was the biggest fish I've ever seen in my life, and had huge lips, and it just looked like something out of a movie. It literally took your breath away.
Did it say that it wanted to graduate your taxes? Is that why you named it
exactly.
JB Pritzker? Was it playing in front of a camera with small little groupers? No.
feeding them in a lunchroom.
So grouper, I mean, they're I
They're-
think like the biggest grouper that's caught on record. I mean, it's like 600 or 700 pounds. These are these are massive fish.
This one was bigger than that. I'm
Wow.
not exaggerating. It's like, oh, the fish was this big. It literally was
How
the
close
size.
did you get to it?
I was as close as you and I are. I was staring at it, and it was staring at me, and I thought, I wonder if he wants to eat me. maybe not. I don't know. And then, but we honestly, everybody was stopped dead in their tracks. It was just fascinating. It was beautiful silver with a black tail. And then the turtles were as big as this table. They were huge, beautiful turtles. And then when they took off and swam away, it was majestic. It was just really one of the best dives I've ever had.
And then spearfishing,
Didn't-
tuna nets, anything else to bring anything back in?
No.
Oh.
nothing. So it was really.
Did you break
amazing.
off any of the coral as a souvenir?
No,
or is that,
no,
that's
that is
verboten, isn't it?
That is frowned upon, and if the dive master sees you do that,
Then what happens?
He'll tap you and gives you the sign, and you got to go up.
And then what
They
happens?
do not tolerate
Then
that.
what does
Then
the
they
dive
beat
master
you.
do
They-
to
they
you?
beat you.
Then they club you like a baby seal?
And
Okay.
throw you back in and say, "Fend for yourself." You
Yeah.
don't disrespect the
All right.
ocean. Every
Very
time you go
good.
diving, you see something different, but that was not life changing, but it's something that'll stick with you.
Underwater Adventures with Amy Jacobson on Passport to Paradise, our trip to
Secrets,
Maroma
Maroma
Beach
Beach.
in Riviera Maya.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. And I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement. Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 34-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Every month I hear from clients who have joined us over the years from our radio campaign right here on AM 560. From Indiana, I got a note saying, Tom, you're right. Working with you is like watching Andy Griffith in high definition. Great technology and old-fashioned customer service. Or right here in Northern Illinois. Tom, had I known it would have been this easy to switch over, I would have done it years ago. Or this one I just received yesterday. Tom, honey, dinner was great, thanks. Love you, Mom and Dad. Okay, sorry, wrong letter. Bottom line, give us a try. You can't go wrong. Real people, real service, real value. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. precisionpayroll.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Coming up after the news, we'll be talking to Brett Baer of Fox News Special Report. I got a feeling this is going to be the most startling part of the interview that he had with James Comey yesterday.
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
But that's not true.
That's not true.
I want to know if he borrowed Rahm Emanuel's booster seat because it looked like he was higher than him.
Okay. We'll talk about all that after the news with Mike Scott.
A man arrested after a series of carjacking incidents in the city of Chicago. The Bears select a Georgia linebacker with their first pick in the NFL draft. Cubs and White Sox with wins. WIND Chicago News Time 7.
They vow to end the war. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Korean leaders come to an agreement after Kim Jong-un crossed the border for the first time, meeting with South Korea's president.
I sincerely hope that this declaration can satisfy all of you who have got high expectations and aspirations for the peace and unification.
Their goal together is the complete denuclearization of the peninsula, and that means North Korea. They say they want to enjoy peace and progress without the fear of war. They also indicated that they would work towards achieving the end of the Korean War. Remember, there's no peace treaty.
That's Fox's Greg Palcott in Seoul. South Korean President Moon plans to go to North Korea later this year for more talks. President Trump tweeted the U.S. should be very proud of what's taking place in Korea. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham gives him all the credit and just told Fox,
"We're not there yet, but if this happens, President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize."
Now, new Secretary of State Mike Pompeo secretly met with Kim Jong-un weeks ago to set the stage for an upcoming meeting with President Trump. Pompeo is today at NATO headquarters for talks with our allies. He's either very sick or very dumb. That's what President Trump tweets about fired FBI Director James Comey, again claiming he's a liar and illegal leaker of classified information. Comey disputes that. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave Comey told Fox's Brett Baer it wasn't a leak, that the memos he shared with Columbia Law School professor Daniel Richman were not classified.
I always thought of it as mine, like a diary.
He also said the president is wrong to call him a leaker.
That memo was unclassified then. It's still unclassified. It's in my book. The FBI cleared that book before it could be published.
Comey said the Justice Department's Office of the Inspector General has interviewed him about the handling of the memos. Dave?
Rachel, we now know the name of the new royal baby, Louis Arthur Charles, born Monday to Prince William and Kate, the third child. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Skies are mostly clear, 49 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Dalton police officer, Daryl Hope, is out of the hospital after being the victim this week of a shooting in Chicago. Hope was released late yesterday. He heads to a rehab facility and still has one of the bullets lodged in his back. Chicago rapper Keith Hayer, better known by his stage name, Bang the Hitter, is facing murder charges. Hayer was denied bail at a hearing late yesterday, allegedly shooting 18-year-old Deshaun Johnson in the Uptown neighborhood last November. Senators in Illinois want to allow people to swap out opioid prescriptions for a medical marijuana script. State Senator Don Harmon says the plan is as much about relieving pain as it is about trying to fight the opioid epidemic. Governor Rauner ramping up his war of words with State Comptroller Susana Mendoza. AM 560's David Stewart checks in on the fight.
Democratic State Comptroller Susana Mendoza recently said the late payment penalties the state has racked up in the last 2 years are more than in the previous 18 years. But Governor Rauner says Mendoza is part of the problem.
She voted for the deficits that have created the unpaid bills. She created the problem, and now she puts out a memo and says, oh, it's the governor's fault. Are you kidding me?
Rauner says Mendoza is one of a pack of rascals and scoundrels misrepresenting the truth, and he says his budget would help to address the backlog of unpaid state bills. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Lawsuits have been filed against a Northern Illinois school district by 5 former students who allege they were sexually abused by a former teacher. John Bowman says in a suit filed in Lake County Circuit Court that officials in District 65 in Lake Bluff did nothing to stop abuse by Charles Ritz and even concealed it. Charges were eventually filed against Ritz in May of 2017. The former educator pleaded guilty to misdemeanor indecency and received 2 years probation. The Bears select linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia with their 8th pick overall in the first round of the NFL draft. Kyle Hendricks and the Cubs blank the Brewers 1-0 at Wrigley Field. Yoan Moncada, one of 5 White Sox home runs in the 6-3 win over the Royals. The news is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity says we will not see the end of the attacks on Trump.
It just is so corrupt. It is such a double standard, and it is so obnoxious on so many different levels, but it's never going to go away because the mission, when you really look at it, has been to never let Trump get elected, and then from the day he was elected to undermine Donald Trump.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Your yard is not just a yard. It's a baseball diamond, a water park, a movie theater, and a grand banquet hall. Your yard is where memories are made, and you have the best seat in the house with the John Deere X350 Select Series tractor. Now equipped with the exclusive one-touch mulch control system, you can tell your clippings where to go, out the chute, or back into your lawn with just the push of a button. Nothing runs like family, and nothing runs like a Deere. Visit your local John Deere dealer to test drive one today.
7:06. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek.
Mike, we're keeping an eye on a couple of crashes out there. The first in Lake Bluff at Route 176 and Green Bay Road. Another wreck in Elgin at Randall Road and Higgins Road. Meanwhile, travel times on the South Side expressways continue to climb this morning. Inbound Eisenhower stop and go from Manheim all the way into the Burns Circle interchange. It'll take you just under an hour from 390 into the old post office. 42 minutes in from Manheim. Inbound Stevenson stop and go from Harlem to the Dan Ryan. 355 to the drive at an hour. 50 minutes inbound from the Tri-State. Inbound Dan Ryan from 95th into downtown. You need a half hour. Delays begin at 35th Street in the express lanes, at the Stevenson interchange in the local lanes, and those continue into the Byrne Circle. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, we get the latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny with a couple of showers late this afternoon, high 61. A passing evening shower, otherwise breezy and chilly tonight with patchy clouds, low 37. Breezy with sun and patchy clouds tomorrow, high 50. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have partly to mostly sunny skies, 47 degrees. Your next news update is at 7:30. With Dan and Amy and listeners in Mexico, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. With Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are in Mexico.
You screwed it up. Just get to
That's
Brett.
okay. Brett Baer is the anchor of Special Report weekdays at 5 p.m. on Fox News Channel and the author of 3 Days in January. Good morning, Brett.
Morning.
Good to be talking to you. I imagine you could write a book, another book, about your interview yesterday with the author James Comey. That was quite a moment in Special Report history, I would say.
Yeah, 30 minutes in April or something. Yeah.
There you go.
It was really interesting. I think, to his credit, he came in, he answered the questions. He left and said he thought it was tough but fair, and I'm always looking for that, tough but fair.
It's Friday. Winners and losers on Special Report. My winner would be Brett Baer for his interview with James Comey. My loser would be James Comey for his interview with Brett Baer. But I'm a little biased. Was the most startling moment this?
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
That's not true.
That's not true. Brett, it isn't often that you say that to an interviewee.
No, especially the former FBI director. But it's not true, and that has been litigated up on Capitol Hill. They went through a lot of roundabouts about what exactly happened. And the Free Beacon and Paul Singer, conservative, funded and kind of put on retainer that company, Fusion GPS. Didn't really get anything out of it, didn't activate it. The hiring of the former spy, Christopher Steele, and the work on the dossier specifically came from the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign funding. So that had been kind of discussed and settled on Capitol Hill, and I was kind of surprised that Comey said that.
Brett, I just want to congratulate you. You have found the one person in the country who is not familiar with the word collusion. I found the whole thing, your whole interview, I thought was great, but between he doesn't know what collusion, he's not familiar with the word, I believe is how he phrased it, and the fact that he incriminated his friend, the professor, and pretty much him as now an agent of the FBI or working with the FBI, isn't he now guilty? Isn't he, in fact, the leaker? And should he not be charged?
Yeah, so, I went down that road, and that was another astonishing thing, that what he released, he does not call a leak. And, the terminology, I read the FBI protocol and what he signed on his employment agreement. I kind of went down that road. I think what's interesting is that the Inspector General talked to Comey about his handling of the memos and where that goes as far as what was classified and when and who had what. We know from our reporting that Patrick Fitzgerald, in your neck of the woods, had the memos, and then the FBI at some point later had to go scrub his computer because it had classified material on it.
Brett, there's a cornucopia of stuff here. I mean, right from the outset, you start asking him about the drafting of the exoneration of Hillary Clinton, that he did it beforehand, and he had, a reasonable excuse for that. But then he gets into the legal standard, and it sounded like gobbledygook to me.
I probably should have said really sloppy, but I wanted to be honest and say it's above sloppy. It doesn't add up to what the 1917 statute meant when it said grossly negligent is a felony.
But here's the problem, Brett. So negligence is carelessness. And above that is being grossly negligent, which is the same thing as being extremely careless. And he was trying to draw a distinction between the two, but there is no distinction between the two. And,
yeah, I agree. And I was trying to draw that out. I was also trying to kind of draw out the disparity between how the Clinton probe was handled and how the Trump probe is handled on various fronts. And he said he didn't see that. So, there were some frustrating parts of the interview, but fortunately, I had a lot of questions to ask, so there were plenty of things and roads to go down.
Well, I give you a lot of credit.
I gotta hop off because I got to do a Foxy Friends hit,
Go
but
right ahead.
I'm always happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Brett. Appreciate it.
All right.
Brett
Good
Baer,
day.
Fox News Special Report. Oh, I didn't know what time he has to leave on these things. You should have told me, guys.
Yeah, it's everyone else's fault.
Okay.
Oh, you're like Comey of morning
No.
shows. Go ahead.
Or did he cut us off short? Is he like Comey treated him by showing up late?
I'm just
Okay.
happy we get to talk to him. I also wanted.
He's got a lot of things. He's a busy
There was
man.
so
This was like
much of
having
that
Louis
interview.
Prima show up at your restaurant. It was beautiful.
We could have done an hour because there was so much deception and lies
Well, can
and
I give you-
bald-faced fraud.
Give you one thing here?
My recollection was there was a significant amount of additional material about Page and why there was probable cause to believe he was an agent of a foreign power. And the dossier was part of that, but was not all of it or a critical part of it.
Yeah, he said it was part of the mosaic. No, Andrew McCabe, his deputy, said it was the sine qua non. But for the dossier, you don't have the FISA warrant. And I didn't get to ask Brett about that, and I didn't get to ask him about the fact that he interviewed the Dalai Lama and asked him about
you're right.
Caddyshack.
Listen,
Come on.
More importantly, this thing, it was like a chapter out of The Fatal Conceit. It really was. How he at one point would speak as a founding father about equality and liberty. And the other thing he said, that he believes that Lady Liberty has a blindfold on for a reason and she should
Right.
keep it. He really means gag when he says something like a private citizen should not call for the investigation of a case they're not involved with. These people do not want or acknowledge representative government. They like it in the shadows because you know what? For 20 years, this guy was in the shadows, and he was doing the same thing he did here with Trump.
Yeah, just to show you how evasive Comey was with Brett Baer yesterday, here he is talking about Cheryl Mills.
My understanding was at that time she was one of Clinton's attorneys. She was no longer a subject in our investigation. The agents had scrubbed her conduct very carefully by that point, and she was no longer a subject. But that, again, that's a reasonable question. But the facts are, not a subject, one of Clinton's lawyers. She's entitled to be in an interview.
But the problem is, it's a question-begging exercise by Comey because he says she was already scrubbed. No, that's the problem. It was a charade of an investigation, and you should have gotten her to flip on Hillary.
This is why Brett Baer left the interview, because you're leading him down the prairie path. Let him talk. You know, it's like his first day here.
Do I think these things personally? Do you think that he said, I'm tired of this, I want to do something else right now?
Said, what am I
if it had been
doing
Dan
with
and
this
Amy,
guy?
I would have stuck. Would
See?
he have stuck around to 7:30 with Dan and Amy?
Absolutely. Not even a
Does he bail like at
question.
7:13 all the time? Where does he go? Where does he go? What does he have to do that's more important than an interview with Chicago radio?
First of all, he knows you're doing the interview. You don't have a collar on your shirt. You're dressed like you got thrown out of college. Come on, he's Brett Baer, for God's sake.
It was wonderful talking to him. We're going to take a collective breath right now and come back. This is Bruce Wolf and
He's
Sean
on Fox
Thompson.
right now. He wasn't lying.
Oh, he's
Feel-
on TV
feel good about
right now.
yourself.
So he's on a cable station on Fox News right now.
Keep telling yourself it's not you. Go
why
ahead.
can't he talk to us?
You don't like you.
All right.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
So far, that was my favorite part, and the fact they got Bruce's breakfast wrong. But today it's going to be 60. Then it's going to be breezy and rainy tonight. Tomorrow only 50. Saturday, I'm going to Naples, Florida. I don't care, but I do care about how I'm going to get out of here. Derek Peters, what's the fastest route home?
Well, it's definitely not the CTA. On the Green Line, Harlem-bound Green Line trains are standing at 55th Street right now. CTA Red Line trains heading toward Howard are standing at 95th Street. As for the expressways, inbound Eden's now backing up between Peterson and the Junction. Lake Cook to Montrose takes 26 minutes. Inbound Kennedy, O'Hare to downtown takes 50 minutes. Stop and go off the O'Hare extension pretty much all the way into the Burns Circle interchange. You need 25 minutes from Montrose into downtown. Express lanes will save you 5 minutes there. Inbound Eisenhower stop and go from Manheim into the Burns Circle. 390 into downtown takes 57 minutes. 42 in from Manheim. Stevenson stop and go from Harlem to Kedzie. 355 to the drive takes an hour and 54 minutes in from the Tri-State. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Great organizations are made up of great people. When your company needs top talent fast without sacrificing quality, FlexExecs can help. For short-term needs or full-time positions, FlexExecs has provided mid to senior level talent in human resources, marketing, operations, finance, and accounting for almost 30 years. Whether you need one person or a team, FlexExecs is ready to place the right people. They'll help your business meet deadlines and goals, plus control costs. That delivers results for your company's staff and clients. You know how finding the right people to drive your company is critical. Partnering with FlexExecs makes it easy. Find out why hundreds of companies are thrilled with the results. Visit flex2018.com. That's flex2018.com. Or call 630-655-0563 and speak to Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. FlexExecs, the right people at the right time.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Our telephone number is 312-642-5600. Let us go to Holly from Hudson. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning, boys. I have to tell you, I was up all night anticipating this interview. I had such spilkus, but the interview was so short, my Xanax didn't even get to kick in.
Oh, my God. You know what? I once was on with Pat Hughes and Ron Santo because I was singing the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field, and I was on, and I said, Pat, I've got schmilkies. And he said, Bruce, what in the world are schmilkies? So I said it was a legal term of art, but it means nervousness. But it was fun talking to Brett. He was great. He was forthcoming.
I was terrified you were going to go to that tired old joke bag of yours and again ask him about Caddyshack. I mean, I was
All right,
really...
Holly, I've had enough of you. I'm cutting you off right now. Goodbye, Holly. We've got on the line right now Sean from Elmwood Park. Good morning, Sean. How you doing?
You know what I realized after 4 days of doing the show with you? The only people you don't interrupt are nonsense callers. Candace from DuPage, all the airtime she wants, right? Holly from Hudson, all the airtime she wants. That Morphodite from Niles, the imbecile binary choice, all the time he wants. Me, Brett Baer, everybody else you cut off. So from now on, I'm not going to get up early like I was a bread truck driver. I'm going to just phone it in. And Monday and Tuesday, when you're filling in without me, you're going to need these calls because you stink without me. You're nothing.
You know, I like to give all the callers a voice, and I want to thank Sean, the co-host, for being quiet during that phone call with Sean from Elmwood Park. Do you have a rejoinder to Sean from Elmwood Park?
Brilliant.
Sean? Yeah.
Best caller ever.
He was pretty good. I like Holly a lot, too. And I like the,
You like
the guy
Holly
from
because
Niles.
she's beautiful. Come on, you're a
you know,
superficial guy.
That's what we call meta, my friend. That's meta comedy. Sean calling into his own show today.
You know the definition, you can't pull it off, though.
It's either meta or masturbatory. I'm not really sure.
Stick to it.
You know, meta humor is like when Johnny Carson would give an audience, and he deliberately gave a bad joke, and the audience would then groan with him at his own joke, which was supposed to be not funny.
And you know, now that he's gone, who do you have? Morons, right?
Well, we got Colbert.
Jimmy Fallon,
and
Colbert, Kimball. These are
the
guys.
conscience of the United States, Jimmy Kimmel.
This is what happens when you're too wimpy to be security at a comedy shop. You get these buffoons on late night TV. And I wanted to ask Brett Baer, why doesn't Fox News have a conservative alternative to these late night fools?
They do. It's Greg Gutfeld.
Well, there you go. I didn't know. He's not funny, Greg.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
he's
terrible.
very good. He's very good.
I like the girl Kennedy. She's smarter than Gutfeld, right?
I
she looks
don't
better
know.
in the same outfits, and she's twice the man.
The important thing is that Megyn Kelly's career is going down the toilet.
69
Thank
million.
goodness.
I still like the guy who cut the deal. Everybody's a high
Sure.
school freshman.
Right.
What do you want to give her? Let's do
Couldn't have been
69
70 or-
million. Not
couldn't have been
70,
si-
68.
Yeah.
69.
There we go. Yeah. Well, no, she her biggest mistake was leaving Fox. Actually, it wasn't a mistake because you know what she wanted to have was a smooth glide path to
Please.
motherhood.
That's
she
about
should
it,
be home
yeah.
with her children.
That's
She
about-
said it. She said it herself.
That's about as far as you can go with a bottle of baby oil and a glass desk. I think she rode it all the way to the beach. I like it. It was a good play.
Look, the thing that made her famous, that gave her cred, was being on a conservative talk station. You see that
Yeah,
anybody.
that's what did it. Not the beautiful face, the blonde
No, that
hair
helps.
perfectly skewed, and the baby oil leg.
Tucker
It was talent.
Look, Tucker Carlson replaces O'Reilly. He's a success. Martha McCallum replaces her. She's a
First of
success.
all, O'Reilly was a fraud. A fraud. He was faking it the entire time.
What do you
and
mean he
all
was a
he
fraud?
deceived were those old people who were popping dentures in the morning, sleeping in separate beds at night. Those are the only O'Reilly fans. I never liked him, the Irish loofah king. Never.
Do you know that when Mother Jones came up with the story about O'Reilly having the fake confrontation with bullets in the Falklands, that I actually, thanks to Twitter, was able to rip Mother Jones to their face and say they screwed the pooch on the whole thing because they let O'Reilly reduce the whole thing to semantics.
You know
That's
what our,
what's so great
you know
about
what
Twitter.
our two wives have
Yeah.
in common? It's not that they're both married to brilliant people. Our two wives are the only two people O'Reilly didn't give $5 million to stop talking about loofah in the shower.
$30 million, and he says
Great.
it didn't really happen. Let's go to Kevin from Northfield. Kevin, I don't know if I should take the call because you're really not a co-host, but okay, go ahead and talk.
I can pretend to be a co-host on TV. I'm wondering if the two of you are willing to entertain at my son's bar mitzvah.
Absolutely. When is
Yeah.
it? This weekend?
Only one of us knows what it's for, but okay.
Do you want to give me an aliyah at the bar mitzvah? Is that too much? What do you want
I'd
me
like
to do?
to bring you back to your main job, which is politics and popular culture, and I want to ask a question, a
Sure.
serious question.
Sure.
Do you guys see any irony in the fact that Toys R Us, which went bankrupt and was business model required new kids to be born
Right.
and to use their toys, and Babies R Us, and they're giving money to Planned Parenthood? What
Absolutely.
say you?
Absolutely. And I
What
think
say you?
what
It's no
I
stupid,
say.
That's
thank
no
you,
dumber
Kevin.
than a Republican
No.
voting for Rauner. Same thing.
No, here's the deal. And I think one of the owners of Toys R Us even said this. They went out of business because nobody was reproducing anymore. There were no babies anymore. And that's the suicide of the West, Jonah
You
Goldberg.
notice what happens?
No
I
babies.
call, and we get a lot of callers. You see what's happening here? You're ruining the show.
You're the leader.
All
You're
right,
the
go
leader.
ahead.
You're our lost leader here this week. Janet from the northwest suburbs. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. From Crystal Lake, I just want you to know, and I'm a big fan of Dan and Navy.
Me
no
too.
offense to anyone. I have enjoyed this week so much, invigorating, hilarious, so much truth and honesty from both of you. in this devastating state. This has made my week wonderful. I took a longer route to work, so I didn't have to get out of the car.
But you didn't drive off the road. We didn't make you laugh that much, Janet. We really want you to drive off the road. No, thank you so much. You're so kind. We appreciate it very much. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't that nice?
Made me feel good about what I thought was a train wreck. Every time you open your mouth, he's interrupting me, Mike.
We'll take more plaudits, more phone calls like that. Because I need the strokes.
I've only got so many minutes.
Strokes.
I got a Verizon package. I'm paying like $300 for this nonsense.
We don't reimburse you for your calls
Somebody
to the
should.
Station. We really should.
Really, if your
You're part
cousin
of the
Maury
family.
was a better agent, I wouldn't be in this outfit.
Do you want to hear one more soundbite from Brett Baer?
Why not? It's as close as we're going to get to talk to him again.
This is really substantive. I like to get back to the substance. This is on Andrew McCabe from Comey.
Yeah, I still believe he stood tall. He represented himself and the organization under tremendous stress during that period after I was fired. But I read the IG report as you did. It concluded that Andy had not been candid. This is what accountability looks like in the Justice Department.
Listen, he says he stood tall. He can't even call a liar a liar because these are his friends. And Trey Gowdy, he was on last night, too, on Fox, reacting to this and saying, I mean, look at the way that Comey characterizes these things. You know, these people are the ones that stand tall. Meanwhile, Hillary can get away with a straight face and telling the FBI, I don't know what the letter C stands for. It stands for cookie. It's good enough for me.
I'll leave the Hillary and straight face comment alone. But what I want to talk about is Comey's not the really bad part. It's the guys like Comey that you'll never find. This is what the bureaucracies are laced with. Political sycophants with their agenda. And they like it when it's hidden, not exposed.
Coming up after the news, I turned down a call from Sean from Elmwood Park. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Quality doors and windows are one of the smartest investments you can make. They improve your home's appearance and save you money on energy bills year-round. Say goodbye to high-pressure sales tactics and enjoy the best window and door experience with Nextdoor and Window. Call now and schedule your free quote, 630-590-1370, or go online to nextdoorandwindow.com. Nextdoor and Window has wood-clad, vinyl, and fiberglass windows and doors. Their staff will help you find exactly what you want. Right now, get 10% off windows and doors with no money down and no payments for 1 year. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote. Choose from 3 showrooms in Chicagoland, Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote and for finance qualifications.
Nextdoor and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up after the news, Sean, we're going to talk about the Bill Cosby verdict and
what's wrong with his eye.
What's wrong with his eye? We've got to rename the baby from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge because they should have named the kid Mohammed. And the Korean War. It's over. It's all over. Finally.
Can we retire
Because
the
it was supposed to
costume?
have ended the year I was born. Let's go to the newsroom and Mike Scott.
Well, they named the kid after Lord Mountbatten. Did you know that? It's Louis.
Oh, that's Mountbatten.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a family, but it's a throw to Prince Philip and then to Mountbatten as well.
It's not Louis the 16th, which would make no sense.
He's not after the
Yeah.
booze? They didn't name him after
No,
the booze?
not that I know of yet. Still,
I'm going to pretend they did.
Still investigating. 49 degrees. We have clear skies right now. North and South Korea are agreeing to officially end the Korean War 65 years after the fighting stopped. White House correspondent Kristen Welker has more on the president's reaction this morning.
The president tweeting Korean War to end. The United States and all of its great people should be very proud of what is now taking place in Korea.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are calling for a complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. The Golden State Killer suspect is due in court today. Sacramento County District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert still remembers being afraid of the Golden State Killer as a child.
In June of 1976, I was 12. I grew up in the east area of Sacramento,
near the cluster of where these crimes began.
Former police officer Joseph D'Angelo will be arraigned in Sacramento, California's Superior Court. He's charged with 8 counts of murder after a crime spree that spread for 10 years in the 1970s and 80s. A suburban Philadelphia jury says Bill Cosby is guilty of sexual assault. The legendary comedian and one-time television dad faces up to 30 years in prison. Cosby accuser Janice Baker Kinney says she thought Cosby would be off the hook again.
I've been holding my breath for 2 days, so worried when I heard the questions the jury came back with, so worried that another hung jury would happen.
Cosby was convicted of drugging and molesting a former Temple University Athletic Department staffer, Andrea Constant, at his home in 2004. A Cook County judge releases several documents in the pretrial proceedings in the murder trial of former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke. The decision was made late yesterday, and lawyers will be able to block the names of some witnesses. Closing arguments are scheduled today in the trial of an accused serial rapist. Former tanning salon owner Mark Winter took the stand yesterday and again denied any wrongdoing. Chicago sports. Bears defensive master Vic Fangio has a new building block for the middle of his defense. Chicago selecting linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia with the number 8 pick overall in yesterday's first round. Chicago has 1 pick tonight in the second and third rounds, number 39 overall. Cubs blank the Brewers 1-0. White Sox over the Royals 6-3. The news is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's mind.
How do they reconcile their self-image as intellectually open with their practice of intellectually being closed? They really believe that there is no other way to approach life than a left-wing way. So you are not being intellectually closed by not allowing a conservative to speak.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Hi, can I help you? Yes, I have a snoring problem. Can you describe it for me, please? Well, it's about 5'11" with curly hair and a mustache. Oh, I see.
Introducing Mute, sleep technology that opens the nose to increase airflow by an average of 38% so you and your partner can enjoy a good night's sleep. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better. Available now at Walgreens, CVS and GNC.
I'm Amy Errett, founder and CEO of Madison Reed, a company that's revolutionizing the way women color their hair, a company I named after my daughter. Madison Reed is the ultimate hair color hack. The quality of a salon, the convenience and affordability of at-home hair color, and an ammonia-free formula with ingredients you could feel good about. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first purchase. Use code RADIANTHAIR.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are 2 lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim Talamonte, here's Derek Peters.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy at Monroe, a car lost a tire and now it's blocking a lane. That's causing massive delays stretching all the way back to the junction. From O'Hare to downtown right now, you need at least an hour and 22 minutes. If you're coming from the junction, you need 58 minutes. Express lanes will save you some time, but they're at 44 minutes, so not a lot of good options on the inbound Kennedy. Inbound Eisenhower pretty heavy as well. 390 into downtown takes an hour and 4 minutes. 45 minutes inbound from Mannheim. Traffic is service of Staples. Staples has low prices on a huge selection of ink, paper, and the latest printers. And now get the HP LaserJet Pro M203DW for just $129.99 this week only at Staples. Your total printing solution. While supplies last, valid on SKU 2444436. Ends tomorrow. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast comes from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Partly sunny in your forecast, couple of showers. Late in the afternoon, high 61, chilly overnight, low 38, and a cooler day tomorrow with sunshine and a high near 50. Currently, we have 45 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Yes, our top story, this just in, ABBA is coming back. You know, ABBA spelled backwards is ABBA, said Harry Carey from heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
What's your
distracted
favorite,
by CNN. The third-generation communist Cuomo got a haircut, number one.
Okay.
Number two, Diamond and Silk testified before Congress. On what? What's their beef now?
Well, you know who's,
everybody's got to complain.
You know who's going to be envious is Candace Owens, because she, you know, in the hierarchy of black female conservatives, she's up there with a bullet right now.
Shows you how useless. Really, Congress. How useless is Congress? I mean, if they're not at lunch getting drunk on a lobbyist dime, what the hell are they doing?
Speaking of Candace Owens, she tweeted yesterday, can someone please tell John Legend, see, he's still back, you know, in the pre-Kanye days. He's still a liberal Democrat, African-American. He's the last one. But she said, can someone please tell John Legend that I openly challenged him to a debate regarding his stance that Trump's policies have harmed people of color, but Obama's policies didn't. He has blocked me since his unstable wife attacked me, but I'd love to publicly debate him. And I got to say one thing in John Legend's defense.
Who cares?
I loved him in La La Land. Oh, that was so good.
Never saw it. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it was so
how could a
good.
grown man watch a musical? I mean, this is what's wrong with society today. The last musical and the only musical men should
Was the
watch
one based on
is
ABBA?
The Sound of Music, which I still love.
I cried. I saw The Sound of Music like last Christmas. After every song, I cried because it reminded me of seeing it in 1965 when it came out.
I absolutely loved the movie.
You like
Sure.
the old Broadway show tunes,
Absolutely.
not the new ones.
Oh, come on.
My Fair Lady, the
What's
best.
the guy's name with the eyes too close together all the women love? The guy from La La Land. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Right. What's your thing with guys and eyes? Bill Cosby has a wandering eye.
He's got a compass eye. It's always pointing north. No matter where you turn his head, that thing's going north.
He had literally and metaphorically a wandering eye.
I got a few
Speaking of-
guys, that come in the cigar store, and I got to pretend
Here-
it's normal when they're always looking north. you know?
Here's Cosby. He said two amazing things. First of all, after he was pronounced guilty, they were concerned that he's a flight risk, and they were afraid he was going to take a plane. And he says, I don't have a plane, you a-hole. And then he also said this.
All of those people who are in prison right now were kids once, just like you. They went to school and they had girlfriends, boyfriends, they played baseball, rode their bikes, just like you. And then somewhere along the way, they did something wrong, something dumb. Maybe it was getting mixed up with a bad crowd, or maybe it was shoplifting or stealing a car. Whatever it was, it probably started small, became bigger. Maybe they even got away with it at first and thought they'd never get caught. They were wrong. Now, they're in prison. Now, prison isn't any fun and it isn't any joke, so play it straight, gang. That way you'll get where you want to go, not where you don't. Right?
He started preaching personal responsibility, and then his
physician
problems
heal
were born.
thyself. Physician heal thyself. I actually thought that was the funny Cosby bite about the pudding pop in the jail, but that's straight Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the good news. Monday, it's going to be Amy hitting the buttons. We'll finally get the right ones.
That's right. But the Korean War is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes ago at 10:01 this morning, the truce was signed in Panmunjom. The hostilities will end 12 hours from now at 10 o'clock. The war is over!
And then I watched McLean Stevenson in Hello, Larry. I never watched MASH itself.
That's like 3 topics in 45 seconds. Dude, so all the people are I'm getting Twitter. Look at Steve. He's like, what are you guys doing? You're on I'm not in charge, Steve. You understand? I'm the sidecar to this guy. He's driving all over the road.
Well, but it's
I
linear.
wanted to talk about
It's
Brett
linear.
Baer and how, he
Okay.
was telling us the truth. I wanted you to feel good about yourself because I know how sensitive you are.
Right.
Sure enough, he ends the interview with us. Poof, he's on Fox News.
Well,
right?
we were a little concerned. I mean, I don't need to belabor it, but I was a little concerned at the time. It was like, I got to get out of here, said Brett Baer. And I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, much less ask him about asking the Dalai Lama about Caddyshack. But it's sure enough, when you know how you think that somebody's just giving you a phony excuse and they're hanging up on you.
No, I don't.
Like a girl says she has to shampoo her hair that night and can't go out with you.
I'm me, but you're you. I don't know anything about
but
that.
Brett Baer, actually, we saw him on the TV screen like 2 seconds after he was done with us. He was on Fox
and as the only one of us who asked a pertinent question, I feel good about the interview.
Well,
so
I don't
I'm
know
excited about it. It'll be on my Facebook later.
Why couldn't he have multitasked and talked to us through his shoe phone? I don't understand why
Just
he couldn't
patch us
handle-
through to Fox, let us do the interview. Number one, you don't have the legs to work there. And number two, I don't follow scripts very well. So we're never going to be on Fox. Get it out of your head.
What I loved was Brett Baer incredulous with Jim Comey.
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed
that's
to
not
Donald.
true.
He says that's not true. He may as well have said liar, liar, pants on fire.
Because you know what I think what he listen, I love him and he did the right thing and I'm never going to slander Brett Baer. But my question would have been, why didn't you know? You're the head of the FBI. What do you do all day? Really, you wait for lunch to get there? And you're using this to get a FISA warrant. So there's two things. Number one, the FISA court system, you want to talk about incompetent and frauded, and the only thing it's worse than, or it's not worse than, is the head of the FBI. How can you present evidence and you don't know where it's from?
Well, Brett,
you're an idiot.
Brett hinted
at best.
Brett hinted at, and Joe Genova, the guy you say looks like Son of Svengoolie,
Son of
and he
Svengoolie,
does,
very distracted
and he
with
does, actually explicitly stated, there's this belief that the whole thing was a setup in order to give CNN the justification to report on the Steele dossier because everybody had a copy of it, but only BuzzFeed was going to wind up going with it. But they needed a justification. They needed a hook, and the hook was, Comey has talked to the president about this. Let's leak that, and then we can talk about the dossier all we want. But why was he talking about this dossier with Donald Trump and not even telling him its provenance, which was that it came from the Democratic Party?
Here's the move, Wolf. Here's how you do it. Let me help the FBI while they're waiting for lunch to arrive. You get the professor who was his friend, who he just incriminated. See, because what he did, aside from proving the FBI is a patronage of a parking lot patronage way station for anybody who knows the leader gets a check from We the People, when he hired him, is he just threw him under the bus because as an employee, him leaking it is now treason. So go get him and make him flip because he's the weak link. Because he doesn't want to be walking around prison in a miniskirt with a Vaseline dispenser on his shoulder.
I think we got a good show here, but we need a little rebranding. Maybe we call ourselves Diamond and Silk. I don't know. Maybe that works.
Yeah.
I think it works. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are 2 shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
In business, you need smart storage solutions. For over 50 years, Bradford Systems has been the company Chicago turns to, specializing in commercial storage, filing systems, document management solutions, casework, and locker systems. Whether it's working with you to incorporate better storage elements into a historic building, creating a completely new workspace for your business, or even digitizing paper documents, Bradford Systems is there every step of the process. Their experienced digital solutions team will support your enterprise content management and business process outsourcing initiatives. Bradford Systems guarantees you'll have the exact storage solution you need, within budget and completed on time. Learn more at bradfordsystems.com or call 800-580-9151. That's 800-580-9151. Bradford Systems is a proud supporter of AM 560 and Food for the Poor. Let Bradford Systems show you and your business smart storage solutions. Call now for a free consultation. 800-580-9151.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking. And he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you from our Passport to Paradise vacation at the Secrets Maroma Beach in Riviera Maya, presented by Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, Joe Cotton Ford, OPM Tax Resolution Services, the offices of Stephen Leahy, and we have a very special guest.
And a very special Dan and Amy.
A very special Dan and Amy. A special guest, his name is Chris Dell, and he's been on all our trips.
Every single one.
And Chris, tell us exactly how you made your way from Peru to the Secrets Maroma Beach.
Yeah, because you're a little late this year.
Yeah, I was a little late because I was competing in a triathlon in Peru, and it's a half Ironman, so that's a 1.2-mile swim and a 56-mile bike, followed by a half marathon run. And I felt that just wasn't enough exercise.
Yeah.
So then I immediately jumped on the Costa Verde Bay off of Lima, Peru, and swam through South America, picked up my bike via Sherpa in Central America, rode through the Andes mountain range to Mexico, and then ran the rest of the way to here.
The secret life of Walter Mitty. The secret life of, I mean, but that's what people will do to come on this trip with us.
Exactly, to make sure that they're here.
It's remarkable, but it's not in so many ways, because that's the desire to be part of this AM 560, The Answer family.
This great group.
Yes. So, but tell us a little bit more. You did a half triathlon. This is not your first half triathlon. This is one of the athletic contests you've competed in many times over the years.
Yeah. So I've done 14 half Ironmans, 6 full Ironman, and in 2015 I was training for my 4th. And I hired a professional coach because I wanted up my game and take a significant time off my best time ever, reduce it by 51 minutes. And so I hired a coach. He took me out running. He said, hey, hold on, what's going on? Why is there a hitch in your gait? And I said, well, I'm not sure. He was peppering me with questions, and it basically ended up forcing me to admit that I was having mobility issues on the right side of my body. So he said,
and just how old are you at 2015?
43. Yeah. So he basically pointed that out right then and there, Dan. He said, man of your age, that's not right. There's something you need to check out. Go see a neurologist. So I went to a neurologist's office, and, when you're sitting there, your mind wanders to some pretty scary places. You think about brain cancer. You think about ALS. And yeah, I mean, I was scared sitting in that room, but after a series of tests and a diagnosis came back, thankfully it wasn't cancer, thankfully it wasn't ALS, but it was Parkinson's, which will severely impact my mobility over time and obviously poses a threat to my athletic endeavors. So I took the news back to my coach, and we talked with my doctor and my physical therapist, and we adapted my program such that I could compensate for the deficiencies and the symptoms that the disease causes within me. And the long story short, boiled down is, we built a game plan, I executed on the plan, and I didn't meet my goal of reducing the time by 51 minutes. I actually reduced it by an hour and 10.
That's correct. And one of the things that I understand, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that by being as active as you are, I mean,
it's the
really,
best. There's no cure from Parkinson's,
but it's a way
the
to
best thing you could,
retard the onset of it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So to your point, Amy, there's no medication that's going to cure it, obviously. There's no medication that's going to stop or slow the progression of the disease. But the one thing, Dan, that my doctor did point out is that it's been clinically proven that the only thing that mitigates the severity of the symptoms is rigorous daily exercise. So during my diagnosis, my doctor proceeds to ask me, do you think you could work out an hour or so every day? And I, had that same reaction.
Yeah.
It was the first laugh and the first smile I had that day. And I said, yeah, no problem, Doc. I'm training for my 4th Ironman. I'm not going to let this get in my way. So yeah, I'll be working out every day. And it does serve me very well. And in fact, my doctors at Northwestern Medical say it's the slowest progression they've ever seen in any Parkinson's patient in the history of their practice.
Your goal all along has been to participate in Kona, which is the mother of all Ironman competitions.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as it's the World Championships. It's the Super Bowl of our sport. It's the mecca, if you will, of Ironman triathlon. So it's what anyone who's serious in the sport strives for. The challenge is you can't just sign up for that race. You have to qualify. And in order to qualify, you have to basically come in 1st or 2nd place in your age group in a qualifying race. Now, while that
like this half triathlon,
it's actually a full Ironman.
No, but the half triathlon you did in Peru, would that have been a qualifying race?
No, because that's a half Ironman distance.
So it has to be a full.
So it has to be a full Ironman distance, and that full distance is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and a marathon at the end. So the pros and the people who qualified for that are doing it depending on the age group, are probably doing it in around 11 hours or less.
You can even drive the road to Hana in that time.
That's true. That's well said. Yeah. So my best time was 12 and a half hours. And while it was once a goal of mine to qualify, it's something physically I'll never be able to do. But there is one other way to qualify. Ironman has a charitable foundation option where the top 5 fundraisers will qualify if they raise a significant amount of funds for one of the charitable organizations that they support. So my mission now is to take my message forward via qualifying on the charitable foundation option. And the mission's quite simple. We're raising funds to help needy kids who are in impoverished nations who have cleft palates, and Smile Train is the organization that we're supporting. And so that's first and foremost what we're doing is raising funds to help kids who have these challenges in communities and places of the world where they never have the resources to have the medical attention they need. Moreover, I hope to inspire the Parkinson's community especially, and show them through actions, not words, that the best thing you can do is take ownership of your condition and do something every day. It doesn't have to be an Ironman, obviously, but you should be stretching every day. You should do some type of light cardio every day. You should stay active. You should do everything in your power to fight and take an active role in your own building your own best quality of life possible. And from there, just a broader message to people of all ages and all abilities that, if you pursue your passions, if you dream big, if you set a goal and you build a plan and then execute on that plan, you can achieve amazing results even in the face of tremendous adversity.
So how can people help your mission?
I have a site you can go to that has all the information on my story as well as the fundraising effort, and that's KonaCharityChallenge.com.
KonaCharityChallenge.com. No, it's great. It's great to have inspirational examples for people that are suffering from a particular affliction or have family members. I mean, think of what Michael J. Fox has done for Parkinson's by continuing to act and be an advocate and be a spokesperson for for dealing with that disease, and you're doing it in an athletic sense, and that's great too.
Yeah. No, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. And if any of the listeners are interested in learning more information, they can go to KonaCharityChallenge.com.
All right, he is Chris Dell. Let's help get him to Kona. Dan and Amy coming to you from the Secrets Maroma Beach in Riviera Maya.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are two shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson, in for Dan and Amy. Coming up after the news, hey, what do you say we talk about Jonah Goldberg's new book, Suicide of the West? Did you read it?
I was listening. I've got it. Well, it's not
So you
reading.
haven't
It's
read it.
Audible. I buy the Audible book because I'm in the car. I got 3 jobs, 2 kids.
Okay. Did you listen to any of it?
Yes. I'm
How
on
much have
chapter
you listened?
4.
That's enough. That's enough.
You 2 more than you would have got through.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
reading the Cliff's Notes to it. So we'll talk about that. It is a very important book. It's all about gratitude in this day and age.
Interesting.
Yes, and identity politics. We'll talk about it even though we haven't actually read the book. That's what we do. That's how we roll
Talk
here.
radio, welcome to it.
Let's roll into the newsroom right now, and Mike Scott.
Outside, we have mostly sunny skies, 49 degrees. A man arrested after a series of carjacking incidents. A suburban police officer shot out of the hospital. Bears select a Georgia linebacker with the first-round pick. WIND, Chicago News Time, 8.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They didn't just meet for the first time and hold historic talks. North Korea and South Korea's leaders got together for the first time. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, from the start, the tone was upbeat. A South Korean military band greeting Kim Jong-un as he walked across the border, becoming the first North Korean leader ever to set foot in the South since the Korean War.
대결하여 싸워야 할 이민족이 아니라
Kim saying, "We're not enemies, but our families with the same bloodline who must unite." South Korean President Moon Jae-in
핵없는 한반도를 실현하는 것이
saying the leaders confirmed a shared goal to rid the Korean peninsula of nuclear weapons. Dave?
Simon, President Trump tweeted in all caps, North Korean war to end, thanking China's leader for his help. The president wrote, "Good things are happening."
It's this president who wishes to achieve what so many other presidents have either attempted or, in fact, promised and not been able to deliver upon.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway. President Trump also took more shots at James Comey, again calling the FBI director he fired a liar and an illegal leaker of classified information, adding he's either very sick
or very dumb after Comey's interview with Fox's Brett Baer.
You said in the memos, I said I don't do sneaky things, I don't leak, I don't do weasel moves. But, I mean, we can argue what a leak is, but that's a leak, isn't it?
It's not. Comey says he passed his personal memos detailing meetings with the president to a friend to make public, adding it wasn't classified information. Just got news on the economy slowing down in the first 3 months of the year. GDP growth down to 2.3%. Consumer spending had its slowest performance in nearly 5 years. Fox News, fair and balanced.
49 degrees, mostly sunny skies. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A wild scene unfolded across the north side of Chicago in the city's Gold Coast section Thursday as an undercover police officer was carjacked. And the suspect then attempted multiple other carjackings and finally ended on the Gold Coast. Police say the suspect shot multiple people who refused to cooperate when he demanded cars. Eventually, he was arrested after running a stolen vehicle into a building. 2 were killed in shootings in Chicago on Thursday. One of the shootings, a drive-by in West Garfield Park. Another shooting involved a 21-year-old victim around the same time in Humboldt Park. At least 9 others were wounded. A suburban college student is dead following a car versus pedestrian accident in Wisconsin. Carthage College says Griffin Schumau of Lindenhurst was killed in the accident Thursday in Kenosha. Authorities say the driver who hit Schumau remained at the scene of the accident. Closing arguments are scheduled for later today in the trial of an accused serial rapist. Former tanning salon owner Mark Winter took the stand Thursday and again denied any wrongdoing. He's accused of raping at least 9 women over a period of 7 years. The White Sox say pitcher Danny Farquhar is continuing to show signs of progress after he was hospitalized with an aneurysm last week. The team says Farquhar has taken walks on the ICU floor at Rush Hospital with his wife. The team reported some separate sad news yesterday. Manager Rick Renteria's mother, Angela, passed away in Texas at the age of 91. Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has a new building block for the middle of his defense. Linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia with a number 8 pick overall in round 1. Cubs blanked the Brewers 1-0. White Sox out-homered the Royals 6-3. 8:03 is our time. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, travel company Expedia Group is reporting a stronger than expected quarter. Expedia also owns Orbitz, Travelocity, Trivago, Hotels.com, CarRentals.com, and others. Expedia plans to add more travel options this year and will step up marketing. T-Mobile and Sprint could be merging as soon as next week. Reuters says T-Mobile's majority shareholder, Deutsche Telekom, and SoftBank Group, which controls Sprint, have made progress in negotiating terms of a deal, including financing the merger. Still, Reuters says there's no certainty a deal will be reached. Honda says its earnings rose 12% in the recent quarter, even though it had expenses caused by faulty Takata airbag inflators. It's been cost-cutting. Sales are improving. The Dow was up 238 yesterday. NASDAQ gained 114. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains who is delivering your news.
Jake Tapper used to be the press secretary for a Democrat. Chuck Todd also worked for a Democrat, congressional Democrat. There he is. Meet the press. News anchor. There he is, Jake Tapper, CNN. The lead news anchor. There is George Stephanopoulos, former top advisor to Bill Clinton. Chief news anchor, ABC News. It is a joke.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
I've been suffering from depression for about 45 years. I've probably been on 5 to 6 different antidepressants. And even when they did work, and there was that underlying feeling of depression, and it would never go away. Just call one of the treatment centers and just talk to the psychiatrist or doctor, and you'll be on your way. I'm Christy. I'm a wife and a mother and a real estate broker, and I no longer suffer from depression.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Your yard is not just a yard. It's a baseball diamond, a water park, a movie theater, and a grand banquet hall. Your yard is where memories are made, and you have the best seat in the house with the John Deere X350 Select Series tractor. Now equipped with the exclusive one-touch mulch control system, you can tell your clippings where to go, out the chute, or back into your lawn with just the push of a button. Nothing runs like family, and nothing runs like a Deere. Visit your local John Deere dealer to test drive one today.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
It is 8:08. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek.
Thanks, Mike. In Elgin, a rollover semi-truck has Randall Road down to just one lane between Weld Road and Foothill Road. And some good news to share on the inbound Kennedy. The stalled vehicle that was around Monroe has been cleared. However, residual delays are hanging around. They are dissipating, but very, very slowly. Still takes an hour and 4 minutes from the airport into downtown, 52 minutes from the junction in. Express lane's actually worse. They're at 55 minutes on the inbound side. Inbound Eisenhower still pretty heavy as well. 390 into the old post office takes over an hour. Need 42 minutes inbound from Mannheim. Stop and go from Harlem into the Burn Circle interchange. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine with a couple of late afternoon showers, high 61. Passing shower for the evening. Otherwise, patchy clouds tonight, breezy with a low 37. Tomorrow, still breezy, sun and patchy clouds, high 50. And at night, clearing cold with a low 34. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 47 degrees along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. With Dan and Amy in Mexico, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Our telephone number is 312-642-5600. Next segment, we will have the McLaughlin Group. I will be John McLaughlin. Sean will be like Eddie Murphy, playing all the roles of all the panelists. I mean, everybody from Jack Jamond to Eleanor Clift. That will be my favorite. But that's coming up in the next segment.
Yeah, because Merkel just got to the White House, and she's twice the man Macron is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And, hey, Grinnell was confirmed yesterday, just in time. We have the new ambassador to Germany, but that's not one of our top stories. Our top stories are the Korean War is over. The Lindbergh baby has been found. Tom Brokaw, accused of sexual misconduct, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have named their son
After a drink.
Robert Oscar Sam Edward Benjamin Ulysses David Windsor. No, actually, Louis Arthur Charles. You know what that was an allusion to when I just said before, the fake name? Rosebud. You take the first letter of each one of those names, and it's Rosebud, and that's what the Petries named Richie.
Because of Citizen Kane?
Yes, exactly.
Which,
And
you want me to
don't-
believe
no,
it's after the sled? It's not after the
no,
sled.
Don't tell me the real
I know
story of
what it
Citizen
is.
Kane. We
Mhm.
all know the real
Sicko.
story. But as promised, as teased, we're going to talk right now about, it's a book report time. It's book club time. We're going to talk about Jonah Goldberg's Suicide of the West.
Yeah. And
Sean,
I'm up to, much like high school, I'm up to chapter 4,
Well,
so we can give the full report.
No, it is like high school here because I haven't read the book, and you're
In the midst of it,
You're
yes.
listening to it on tape, so you're
Yeah,
not actually
right.
listening. You're actually not
Exactly.
reading it.
Yes.
But you know
yes.
what? I've seen enough of Jonah. I listened to his podcast, The Remnant, which is very, very good. I know all the themes that he is sounding in this. I think we could do a pretty good book report on it. So tell me, what have you learned, gleaned from the book in 4 chapters?
It's an interesting. Listen, it's what we're arguing about. It's what talk radio has been doing. If it truly is conservative, constitutional talk radio, where it believes in the sovereignty of the individual, it rejects all of the collective movements, no matter how much weaponized patriotism they espouse. And the thing about this bull moose national populism that the country has been swept away in, that Republicans now are pro-union Democrats, like that fraud from Southern Illinois who's challenging, supposedly the conservative alternative. So what he's pointing out is the new conservatism really is the old national populism failured systems of both Hoover and Nixon, which is what I said early on. And
You know what?
this.
You know what you remind me of? It's when I went to college and I didn't know the answer to a question for an exam and how
Yeah.
to fill out a blue book. I would just turn the question into whatever I wanted it to be and answered what I wanted to answer. You
Yeah,
just
Barack
gave me-
Obama became president like that.
You
So
just
don't
ga-
knock it.
You just gave me the Sean Thompson.
I told you, listen.
This is Sean Thompson's book, not Jonah Goldberg's book.
What he does that's nice
okay.
is that he does it, and the first thing he says to you is, "I will not refer to a religious reason for
All right,
my opinion."
Here's what the book is about. Okay, first of all, it's about gratitude. He basically gives a
You
history.
didn't read a word of it.
I
Not a
know what the
word.
book is about.
All right, go ahead.
I read the introduction.
Oh, there you go.
I read the inside flap.
Got you through law school.
The book is about gratitude. He gives a history of man, and for the first 250,000 years that man was on the planet, we basically lived on the equivalent of $3 a day. It was only 300 years ago that we had, thanks to the Industrial Revolution that started in Great Britain and went to Holland and then expanded outward, we've had this miracle. He calls it a miracle. We now live so well, but we take it for granted. We're not grateful for it. And he wants to preserve liberal democracy. He wants to preserve capitalism. And what we've descended to is to our worst instincts, which is to go back to tribalism, because that's what's natural. We go back to what feels good. That's what's happening on the college campuses. We don't want to engage in rational debate. We want to do what feels good, and what feels good eventually ends up in tyranny, and we are going to lose this because from generation to generation, you've got to preserve our civil rights and our liberal democracy.
He's 20 years too late, and what he's really doing is a backhanded justification of never Trumpism, because he doesn't have he
That's
doesn't
true.
have. Of course it is. See, I just did what your wife does. I waited for you to stop talking and then corrected you. What he really did here is he kind of justified his opinion of being a never Trumper, because he doesn't have. And I like Jonah very much,
Yeah,
and a
me
very
too.
brilliant
Yeah.
guy. There's
He's
no
the heir
question
to
about
William
it.
F. Buckley, no
But
question.
if you can't recognize the good things that Trump does, and then I beat him up on Trumponomics every chance I get, he is simply wrong. I beat him up when he's an interventionist, which is ironically something he never
Wait,
was.
when you refer to he, the pronoun antecedent is Jonah or Trump?
Trump.
Okay. All right,
I
let
can
me-
say I
Okay.
like the good things of Trump, and I reject and vomit the bad things.
Interestingly, a colleague of Jonah's, Michael Brendan Doherty, has a reflection on the book, and he's kind of sounding some of the things that you're saying, reacting to Jonah, because you can take this anti-tribalism too far. We need to have families. We need to have religion. We need to have the bulwark against the state. And this Michael Brendan Doherty says, Conservatives used to look at the falling rates of teen pregnancies in the 1990s as a sign of healthier recovery after the antinomian cultural revolution. Now I look at them with utter dread. This isn't a return to chastity. It's young people barely venturing out to do what comes natural and bonding with each other at all. So it's really bad right now because we're not doing anything. We're not reproducing ourselves. We're totally losing it. So it actually behooves us to engage in a little bit of tribalism, but you can take it too far.
We've had 80 years of statism, of a growing statism, of Democrat in particular becoming Soviets and blurring the lines of both personal sovereignty, familial status, and political party affiliation. So we now have it where you're having Republicans argue for a strongman president to make apprenticeship part of the government's obligation. So what he's trying to point out is, listen, we're already statists. Where he's making his mistake is he can't separate the good from the bad when it's someone he doesn't like Trump.
Well, I mean, there's good populism and bad populism. I'm going to give us a B+ for that. And considering you've only read 4 chapters or listened to 4 chapters.
And you did none. He says it to me like I'm the bad guy.
It's
you did
not
nothing. You
bad.
didn't read a
All right,
word.
coming up, the McLaughlin Group. And, first, all right, let's take this. Let's take this call right now because this is apropos.
Yeah, and you won't interrupt them.
Tom from Deer Park, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm pretty slow on reading books, too, but a good reason to get the thing done by Tuesday, May 8th. Jonah will be discussing and signing at the University Club Tuesday, May 8th. So that's your reason to get it done, Shawnee.
And, Tom, if you come down to the studio within the next 20 minutes with your copy of the book, I will sign it for you as well. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Tom from Deer Park. Now, let's pause for station identification. When we come back, the McLaughlin Group. Sean plays the role of Eddie Murphy, playing everybody on the McLaughlin Group on AM 560, The Answer.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Now it's time for the weather report, and today's really the best day out of the next 3. It's going to get up to 60. Tomorrow, 10 degrees difference. But tonight, it's turtleneck season. Terrible, breezy, and rainy. And all of that, if that wasn't bad enough, guess what? Derek Peters, where can't I drive? Where am I going to be stuck in the car? Good thing I have cigars, though. We can get through a long traffic jam.
Hope it's a long one if you're traveling the inbound Kennedy. It's still trying to recover from an earlier stall near Monroe. O'Hare to downtown still taking over an hour. You need 52 minutes if you're coming from the junction. Express lanes, they're no help. They're actually worse. 55 minutes from Montrose to Ohio Street. Inbound Eisenhower 390 into the old post office takes an hour and 42 minutes inbound from Manheim. Inbound Stevenson Heavy from Harlem to the Dan Ryan 355 to the drive at an hour and 6 minutes. 54 minutes inbound from the Tri-State. If you're coming in on the Dan Ryan, you need at least 45 minutes. Delays begin at Garfield in the local lanes, 43rd Street in the Express. I'm Derek Peters from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Hi, I'm Todd Pals, owner of Homewood Bat Company, a top-quality baseball bat made right here in the Chicagoland area. Homewood Bat Company is all about using the best in materials and craftsmanship to create a truly remarkable baseball bat. I've been a client of Precision Payroll for a number of years, and when I started the Homewood Bat Company, I wanted them on my team. From working with me when I had 1,200 employees at another company, and now with less than 50, their service has been exceptional and their value is unrivaled. You want more runs in the game? Give Homewood Bat Company a look. You need a home run for your business? Precision Payroll should be the next call you make.
Thank you, Todd.
It is so cool to see you make Americana. Precision Payroll would like to go to bat for you. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's time now for the McLaughlin Group. I'm your host, John McLaughlin, the late John McLaughlin. We've got experts panelist Eleanor Clift. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Pat Buchanan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Jack Chamond, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Robert Novak, good morning to you.
And good morning.
I think the variation of the theme right there. Issue 1.
The nice thing about the McLaughlin Group is there is no variation. The girls sound exactly like the men.
Issue 1. The Korean War is finally over. It was supposed to be over in 1953, but it's finally over now. The two sides are getting together. Does this mean denuclearization? Eleanor Clift.
No, it means jobs for North Koreans. They'll be flipping out the stuff China used to flip out.
Issue 2. Tom Brokaw apparently allegedly committed sexual misconduct against one Linda Vester when she was working for NBC in the 1990s. Here's what she had to say.
I was groped and assaulted by Tom Brokaw, then the anchor of NBC Nightly News.
Jack Jamond, will this put a crimp in Tom Brokaw's career?
Unlike an Illinois Republican, he's accused of sexual harassment by a woman. I say he moves forward. He'll be on next Sunday with different glasses.
Anything's got to be better than Lester Holt. Did you see what happened with Lester Holt in North Korea when they put him in front of that Potemkin ski resort?
I was distracted by how frail.
I'm starting to sound like somebody from New Jersey. I'm
or
losing
your
the
uncle.
accent. Yes, I'm sounding like.
I was distracted by how frail he is.
It's Jackie Mason doesn't host the McLaughlin Group. John McLaughlin hosted the Issue 3. Bill Cosby found guilty. Will he spend a day in prison or will he die in prison? Pat Buchanan.
Not one day in prison. However, if he does, he can get that compass eye fixed.
And that is the McLaughlin Group. For the ADD. This whole show has felt this way to me. Even I think we're changing the topics too fast today.
Time to up your dosage.
All right, did you get a chance to read any more of Suicide of the West during the commercial break?
I'll tell you the truth. I think it's very important to realize I'm doing the best I can. 3 jobs. You understand?
I get it.
I pre-ordered the book, for God's sakes. You're making fun of me. I'm already almost on 4.
I get it. And I guess I shouldn't bring up the NFL draft because you don't really care about the Bears drafting a Smith, not a Grabowski. You know, in Bears lore, Mike Ditka said, we're a team of Grabowskis, not Smith. But their first-round draft choice is a guy named Roquan Smith. Roquan.
Another guy never listened to.
He disappeared, didn't he?
Never listened to him. I especially liked when he got my favorite job of all. If you're going to have any job in media, it's definitely film critic like Roper.
Yeah.
You could be completely wrong about everything. You're first in line to see movies. You never pay for dinner. It's really the gig to get. And you can be arrogant. You walk around like you actually know things.
Well, I never listened to Hebert, Accent Aigu, Roger Hebert. I never read him because I'm so impressionable that I would read a review of his and then I'd go to the movies and think, yeah, I see that now. Oh, yeah, the very textured performance there. I'll give it a 3. So
the only reason you even know his name is because he outlived the other guy. The other guy was way better.
Do you remember? No, he
Siskel.
wasn't. Do you remember the best Onion headline of all time after Gene Siskel died?
I win.
Ebert Victorious. Tucker Carlson got really sensitive last night.
He is sensitive.
Because there was an Onion story. Tucker had a rant against croutons. And it's something like Tucker doesn't understand why he's ranting against croutons. And Tucker Carlson went on to rebut the Onion story, saying, well, I happen to like croutons. And he was trying to be smarmy like the Onion. No, you take it. You take the joke, buddy. Let's go to Perry from Niles. Good morning, Perry.
Good morning. You that wasn't Jackie Mason, wasn't that the Aardvark from the Aardvark cartoon?
Played by Jackie Mason. Didn't you ever read the end?
It started out as John McLaughlin, but eventually you seek your own level, don't you, Perry? And eventually I wind up going into Cobb or Jackie Mason.
Actually,
right.
there's only one John McLaughlin, and that's the guitar player from the Mahavishnu Orchestra. That's the only one that matters.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Have a good day,
Thank
guys.
you, Perry.
Good day.
Yeah. Oh, I love when people are more aesthetic than I am.
You know, but
yeah.
I loved that early 70s TV. I really did. Early 70s, mid 70s. That's when you had shows. You know, obviously I was watching Free to Choose, but that's when you had shows that they were confrontational. They really
All
were.
in the Family.
They were contentious. And I'm not just talking about sitcoms. I'm talking about the news programs.
Oh, right.
As opposed to today, where you have entire
no.
stations.
You know, when Firing Line was in the 70s, and that was civil conversation.
It's fantastic.
But it was confrontational, but in a civil way.
Exactly.
Yes.
As opposed to now when you have entire networks designed specifically around an agenda of deception.
You know what? The guys right now on TV and radio, those TV
We should
conference-
do that.
No, they sound like us. You know, two knuckleheads just yelling at each other.
Oh, we're way
That's what
better than they are. And you know what? If you worked out a little bit, maybe bought a shirt with a collar on, we could get on TV. But you
All
blow
right,
it.
all right. It is too late for me. It's getting late in the show right now. Let's pause now for
say it's
station
not so.
identification. This is AM 560, The Answer.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Building owners and managers. Now is the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan Roofing. Since 1914, Waukegan Roofing has been installing and maintaining roofs you can rely on for all of Chicagoland. Our experienced team of professional service technicians is the right solution for preserving the integrity of your new or existing roofing system for years to come. With your dedicated service technician and our multi-point inspection program, we cover all areas of your roof from early detection to preventative maintenance to repairs and everything in between. We're the licensed commercial roofing contractor you can rely on for all your roofing needs. Building owners and managers, now is the time to prepare your low-slope commercial roof for everything that Mother Nature throws at it this year. Call Waukegan Roofing today for your service and maintenance appointment at 877-ROOF-201. That's 877-ROOF-201. Or visit us online at waukeganroofing.com. Waukegan Roofing, installing roofs you can rely on since 1914.
Illinois licensee 104000761. There's a lot going on with your mouth. It's how you communicate through speech and your smile. It's where you put food to fuel your body. It's how you show affection to your loved ones. The health of your mouth and teeth are so important, and Dentistry for All Ages in Elk Grove Village can help keep your mouth and teeth in excellent condition. When is the last time you had a dental checkup? It's suggested every 6 months. Dr. Leischner and Dr. Fernelli at Dentistry for All Ages focus on comprehensive consultations and most dental services, but start with an oral cancer screening using Velscope. It sounds technical, but it's a really simple process. And right now, you can get a free oral cancer screening with your dental cleaning and exam. Dentistry for All Ages is in Elk Grove Village, Suite 660, in the Eberly Building in Alexian Brothers Hospital, with a convenient indoor parking garage located on the first 4 floors. Call 847-439-2445 for an appointment, or go to dentistryforallage.com. Dentistryforallage.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Together. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew where you were.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, that was the alarm.
That was a good song.
That was the alarm on my phone till
Tom.
my wife freaked out.
Tom from Hobart, Indiana. Good morning. Good morning, Tom. Hello,
yes.
Tom. Yeah.
How about the Morton Downey Jr. show?
All right, that's
in
what. Yeah.
the like around
1988, 89. I
Sure.
remember coming home from work in those days. I look forward to watching that because it was a train wreck every night. You talk about confrontation.
No, he was the Joe Pine of his day. Thanks so much, Tom. That's how far back I go.
Red Sox and smoking. You remember that's when you could smoke on TV?
Right.
The idea that you can't do any of this stuff anymore.
Light that cigar right now.
I tell
Let's
you
defy
what.
the man. Let's go into the newsroom right now. And Mike Scott.
49 degrees, blue skies, and sunshine at 8:31. We're watching developments on the Korean Peninsula this morning. North and South Korea agreeing to officially end the Korean War, 65 years after the fighting stopped. Former police officer suspected of being the infamous Golden State Killer is due in court today. Joseph D'Angelo will be arraigned in Sacramento, California's Superior Court. Case against the suspected shooter at a South Florida high school heads back to court today. There's a mass hearing set for this afternoon in the Nicholas Cruz case. Bill Cosby's lawyer is vowing to appeal the comedian's conviction for sexual assault. Cosby found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault Thursday. Former NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw being accused of sexually harassing a pair of women in the workplace. Former news anchor Linda Vester spoke to Variety. Brokaw, she says, once showed up at her hotel room unannounced.
He took the same hand, reached behind my head, and tried to force me to kiss him.
2 women, including Vester, telling the Washington Post as well that Brokaw made those unwanted sexual advances in the 1990s. Dalton police officer Daryl Hope is out of the hospital after he was the victim of a shooting in Chicago this week. Hope was released Thursday and now heads to a rehab facility. 2 were killed in shootings in Chicago Thursday, one in West Garfield Park, a 21-year-old victim in Humboldt Park. 9 others were shot and wounded. A suburban college student is dead following a car versus pedestrian accident in Wisconsin. Carthage College officials say Griffin Schumau of Lindenhurst was killed Thursday in the accident in Kenosha. Another batch of JFK files will be released today. The National Archives releasing 19,000 government files, all surrounding the assassination of the President John F. Kennedy. Files can be downloaded off the archive's website. JFK documents were scheduled to be released last October because of a 25-year deadline set by Congress in 1992. But the president decided to give federal agencies another 6 months to inspect the documents. 700 documents will still not be released. Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has a new building block for the middle of his defense. Roquan Smith out of Georgia, the Bears' #1 draft pick. Cubs blanked the Brewers, and it was the White Sox over the Royals, 6-3. The news service of Staples. Staples, low prices on a huge selection of ink, paper, and the latest printers. And now get the HP LaserJet Pro M203DW for just $129.99. This week only at Staples, your total printing solution. While supplies last, valid on SKU 244436. Ends 4/28. 8:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher loves the hypocrisy of the left.
This bastion of progressivism, Starbucks, where people who sit around for hours upon hours. You're going to tell me 2 black guys can't sit at a table without being bothered? And I love every bit of the consequences that pretentious, overpriced place is now having to pay.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois. The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are 2 lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood, and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
It is 8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Derek Peters.
Thanks, Mike. Have an update in Elgin Randall Road northbound, shut down now between Weld and Foothill Road. That's due to that rolled over semi truck. Also watching accidents in Waukegan at Washington west of Glen Rock Avenue and in Vernon Hills Town Line Road at Fairfield Road. As for the expressways inbound Edens, still struggling to recover after an earlier stalled vehicle near Monroe. O'Hare to downtown takes just under an hour. You need 48 minutes if you're coming inbound from the junction. Express lanes take 36 minutes from Montrose to Ohio Street. Inbound Eisenhower 390 into the old post office takes an hour and 45 minutes inbound from Manheim. It's heavy from Central into the Burn Circle interchange. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Derek Peters on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partly sunny with a couple of late afternoon showers, high 61, chilly overnight, a low of 38. 47 at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chambers630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
That's hard to live up to. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are in Mexico. And Dan and Amy will be joining us from Mexico post-haste. But first, before he's got to go and be on Fox News, just like Brett Baer was an hour ago. When
I
he
like
blew,
Faisal Khan. Can we get to him?
We can, but Brett Baer blew us off after 13 minutes and literally went on to Fox News within 5 seconds. We saw him on television. Faisal Khan, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I didn't get my Fox News invite yet, so I'm good.
Okay,
we're good.
Faisal Khan, head of Project 6, the government watchdog group. Sorry to hear that Project 6 is suspending regular investigative operations. I assume this is because there's no more corruption in the city of Chicago. You've done your job. It's time to move on. Is this?
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much, guys. You nailed it. We've knocked Chicago off the list. I'm now moving to New Orleans. No, unfortunately, that's not the case. You guys I can understand as any nonprofit, we're relying on funding, and it's a tough market right now. And when we do work such as what we were doing, there's not an individual return that a lot of people could invest into. The people who did invest in us, and we're very grateful for that.
Now, I know
believed in good government.
Right.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of There's a lot of good works that you did, and I suggest people go to your website. I do have a question. Tell me if it's beyond your area of expertise, but it's the thing that I'm totally hung up on, and that is the Laquan McDonald video. I mean, here is I would love an investigation into Rahm Emanuel. He claims that he didn't know about the Laquan McDonald video until after the judge ordered it liberated. But a lot of us, John Cass was the guy who led this fight, believe that Rahm knew about this before the primary against Chuy Garcia, and so he effectively disenfranchised African-American voters because they didn't get to know about this. I mean, how would you go about looking into this, and do you have an opinion on it?
Well, I think, I have an opinion. I think Mr. McCarthy, running for mayor right now, has pretty much admitted that Rahm Emanuel was involved with the video from the get-go. So I don't think it's a secret anymore. I think it's actually one of the worst kept secrets here in Chicago, that the mayor certainly knew about the video and was involved in when the tape was going to be released or not. So I don't think there's much to learn here at this point. The way I would go about it is, or what's a real indicator of it, is the fact that the mayor refused to turn over emails for the longest time until the Tribune and other organizations had filed lawsuits to get his emails. I bet if we put a couple of people under oath, we would know exactly when the mayor saw that video.
Exactly.
Well, Faisal, I am disgusted to hear that you guys are going away because now all we're going to have is the pencil net geek Andy Shaw and the Better Government Bureau, and I'll have to pretend his daughter didn't go work for Obama and that he's really doing a good job. So I'm a little upset you're going because I really wanted to know about your article here, the O'Hare expansion and the funding. See, I kind of like when it's the same old characters and maybe they change a name or two in their LLC, and we pretend it's not pay-to-play corruption where they are getting paid 5 times what they should to do a terminal that doesn't need to be redone.
You know, I appreciate the kind words, and when we're not gone away forever. Hopefully, we can reevaluate this in a few months to see if there is some support that we can bring this back. At this point, right now, we have to suspend indefinitely just because of funding. You're absolutely right, though. There is a problem here in Chicago, and it's the same players with a different title, with a different organization name. And I think there's another story that just came out yesterday, guys, sometimes about the Chicago Bears and who provides security for them. And a company that's been providing security all over the country is in a lot of trouble, yet they have some significant political connections here. And therefore, they may get that contract. Yeah, shocking, right, guys?
Yeah, let me guess. Is there a zoot suit Ed Burke at the bottom of it with his green Rolex for drinking 1,000 bottles of Jameson? They just give it to you then. It's all the same nonsense.
It is, and that's the hard part. That's the sad part. That's why we're not going to be here to fight some of that. But I hope you guys keep shining a spotlight on that.
Well, it's interesting because it has to be people like Dan and Amy who do that, and since you're not going to be able to do it anymore, and I'm wondering if you had an opinion on the investigative journalism done by the media in the city of Chicago. It seems to me, I haven't been able to chronicle it as well. It's just anecdotal stuff. You get stories like Carol Marin and the Sun-Times going after Rauner because he allegedly bullied somebody. And that was Quinn's that was Quinn's campaign in the last gubernatorial election, and it was so thin because the case was dismissed on a motion for summary judgment. But that's all he had going for them. And you wonder, do they look into the kinds of things that you would look into and expose the corruption, on the Democratic side?
Well, look, so I can only speak for myself, right, guys? The Project 6 investigations, quote unquote, done by the Sun-Times about where our funding came from. Mick Dumke was one of the authors on that, and he told me straight out that he got his tips from politicians to run that story. And the investigation into a nonprofit, my nonprofit, as to who was funding us, made the front page of the Sun-Times on 2 different occasions. A nonprofit that's accused of doing nothing wrong, that's never had to issue a retraction, that's never been questioned about it. Actually, it's investigative material. Simply was questioned as to who was helping us fund the office. Made the cover of the Sun-Times in this day and age.
That's because...
And I think that should tell you that the media is carrying the water for a lot of different people.
Well, this is like a guy like
Chicago.
It's like a guy, Dave McKinney of the formerly of the Sun-Times, did the story with Carol Marin, about Rauner and the case that was dismissed because of summary judgment. And it wound up being it was really the entire campaign. If you watched NFL football on Sundays, that was the commercial that came on over and over and over again during that campaign, was about how Rauner bullied a woman. And McKinney is a great reporter. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. But he apparently had a conflict of interest because his wife was a consultant for the Democrats. And he shouldn't have even been on the beat, or there should have been a disclaimer on all his stories. And yet he'll fight that. But they'll go after you because you're trying to ferret out corruption on the Democratic side.
The reality is this government here in Chicago and Illinois is not interested in serving taxpayers.
Faisal,
that's the reality of it.
I've got a good cigar bet that the politicians you're referring to who wanted you investigated are the fraud Republicans who you were going after. It isn't the Democrats who you've consistently gone after because they have nowhere to hide. They know what's going on. They just want to keep it going on. It's the fraud Republicans who pretend to be in opposition that you were exposing, and that's where the problem you caused is in. So here's the good news. Florida, you know a really good real estate broker in the south of Florida. You call me, I'll help you out.
It always comes back to Sean.
Yeah.
Talk about a conflict of interest.
I got to stay in business.
Okay.
I may take you up on that offer, buddy. I appreciate it.
Are you going to New Orleans like Brockmeyer did to do minor league baseball, which I just saw the other night? Seriously, what's your future?
It's a good question. I'm still kind of figuring that out at this point. I like what I do. I've been a career prosecutor. I like putting bad guys away, whether they're elected or appointed. So we'll see where this path takes us. I'm not giving up on Chicago yet, and I hope nobody else does.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it, Faisal. Thanks,
guys.
Thank you. Faisal Khan of Project 6.
See you at the airport.
You got a conflict, man. Although, you know
How
what?
do I have a conflict?
You know what the problem is?
I'm giving you the out. Are you going to pretend that Rauner and Pat Brady and these other scoundrels are different?
First of all, Pat Brady's a friend of mine.
Either you're in on the scam or you're too stupid to see it.
I
Get out of town.
I want to see a reconciliation between Dan Proft and Pat Brady. I'm hoping they will hug. I'm going to go to that May 22nd thing at the City Club between Pat and Dan, and like Phyllis George got Kathy Crowell-Webb to hug or asked her to hug her assailant. I'm going to try to get them to hug each other.
I just want to see Nancy Kimmey there so I could ask her how much she bench presses.
Now, one day our prince will come, and his name is going to be Louis Arthur Merrill Lynch Pierce Fenneran Smith, the new son of the King, Duchess and Duke of Cambridge. Hey, it's time for me to kiss you goodbye.
I can't believe it.
Let's listen to Dan and Amy first from Mexico on AM 560, The Answer.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Americans in every tax bracket got a tax cut thanks to the tax bill signed into law last year, which means you've got more money to spend on what's important to you. Democrats in Congress who voted against the tax cuts are promising to raise your taxes if they win in November. They want your money back to spend on their priorities. Only you can stop them. To find out how much more money you'll be bringing home, go to taxcutswork.com. There's an easy-to-use calculator that tells you how much money the new tax cuts are saving you this year and next. Check your savings at taxcutswork.com and then sign a letter to Congress telling them to keep their hands off your tax cut savings. The Tax Cuts Work Tour is coming to the Fauna International at 1900 Averill Road in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Meet small business owners, elected officials, and the folks from Job Creators Network to hear how the tax cuts are working and share your story, too. That's Fauna International in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Learn more at taxcutswork.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early-stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're coming to you from our Passport to Paradise trip.
Woohoo!
We're at the Secrets Maroma Beach in scenic, tropical, floral Riviera Maya.
It's floral?
Oh, it is.
No, it is. There's a lot of vegetation here, beautiful flowers.
This excursion is presented by Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, Joe Cotton Ford, Opum Tax Resolution Services, the law offices of Stephen Leahy. We've done underwater adventures with Amy Jacobson. Now it's time to do land adventures with Amy Jacobson. Tell us about the wildlife you've been consorting with.
Well, what's really beautiful and unique about this property is that you can have cat monkeys in
animals that look neither like a cat nor a monkey, but do look like a raccoon squirrel.
No, they're bigger than raccoons. These things are they're pretty big.
These are the coatimundis.
Coatimundis, right? But I started out calling them a cat monkey, and one was sleeping on our porch.
Squirrel.
So cute until it wants to rip your face off.
Yeah.
But they're extremely docile, and they keep multiplying. They have very large families. There's Eric Thomas and his wife Danielle.
I see them running around the campus here in packs like they're plotting a takeover of the place.
You know what I think they might be. And then at night, they're nocturnal, so they come out to play. If you go to the sports bar down there, or as Garrett calls it, Garrett's one of our sponsors of the trip from Arlington Heights.
Heating and
Yeah.
Cooling. Yeah.
Garrett calls it the swing set bar. If you go down to the swing set bar, you will see them at night. It is, you got Mama Bear, you got Papa Bear, and you got a whole lot of little baby bears. But you were so daring the other night, and we did tweet this picture out, that you let a catamande eat out of your hands.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
did.
No, I did not want you to do that. I just wanted you to. I was leading him to the
I'm
sports
like Dr.
bar.
Doolittle. Animals love me. By the way, for those of you animal lovers at home, the coatimundi, that's Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Prosonidae, and genus
What are you?
Nacella. So just for those of you scoring at home on the
I went to
Catamundi.
prom with Genus Masella. Really?
That was your eighth prom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Yeah. Now he's, I don't
He's
know,
walking
Wonder Twin
around.
powered into a coatimundi. I don't know.
But then there's a lot of stray cats, which I have a soft spot in my
Right,
heart
you've been
for
feeding
cats.
all the stray cats here, even
Yeah.
though the signs clearly posted say, don't feed the animals, they can feed themselves.
Yeah, but I don't. The cats, I had them come up on my chaise lounge the other day.
Oh.
We had a very nice bonding moment
Yeah.
as I spoon-fed her some calamari.
Were you involved? There was some kind of animal incident the other night because
what happened?
in the middle of the night we hear this screeching, and then I see flashlights. I looked out my well-appointed room, the window of my well-appointed room, and
Yeah.
I see people milling about with flashlights, and I didn't know.
Was it a cat fight or
somebody had been murdered, or
Bigfoot?
there was just animals, or
Really?
you were with in one of your drunken rampages. I didn't know what was
Oh
happening.
yeah, I'm so out of control.
Yeah.
Woo!
So
but
you were not involved in
no,
that.
I was not involved in that.
Okay.
Were there any carcasses involved in that? Did
Not
you-
that I saw, but they clean up around here. It's like
Yeah.
they got like 600 wolves running around. Cleanup crews.
But I've had a really good time here, haven't you?
Yeah. What
Been
other
very
wildlife?
relaxing.
What other animal life have you interfaced with?
Well, just the grouper that was the
lizards.
size of a Volkswagen.
Well, yeah,
and
that's
then there's
underwater. I
lizards.
said land.
Land, a lot of lizards, a lot of iguanas.
Yeah.
But it's been great. I mean, I feel like we're close to Cancun, but we're in our own little world, our own little animal kingdom. Yeah.
Boy, Marlon Perkins couldn't have said it better. She is Amy Jacobson. Her underwater stories better than her land stories, but we still have some time left at Secrets Maroma Beach and Riviera Maya.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Warmer temps are here, spring is in the air, and spring cleaning is too. Elgin Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal, copper, aluminum, brass, and steel. Time to clean out the garage, basement, and junk drawers. Clear it out now and get cash. Contact Elgin Recycling. They've got 4 drop-off locations with truck scales, convenient to I-90. Contractors, ask about on-site weigh and pay services. Get cash now for your scrap metal. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. Televisions and computers have come a long way this past decade, which leaves behind thousands of old TVs, monitors, electronics, and more. Elgin Recycling does electronic recycling too. They've got services that include TV recycling, collection events, digital data destruction, IT asset management, and more. Contact Elgin Recycling today at 847-741-4100 or online at elginrecycling.com. elginrecycling.com. Ever hire a plumber at an odd time for an emergency? The hourly rate could send you into cardiac arrest. It'd be nice to have someone on call 24/7 for those once every few year emergencies, but probably not necessary. Now, your business is IT? That's a completely different story. The potential for problems if your IT system isn't properly maintained could be more than those once every few year plumbing backups. For peace of mind, turn to Turnkey IT. Their monthly support contracts will keep your business's computer systems online and running well. No more waiting for an hourly IT tech to get back to you and charging you an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey will keep your business's computer system online with unlimited on-site and remote support. And for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Get the secure feeling your business backbone is supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Crying toddlers, rebellious teenagers, backseat fighting. Any of this sound familiar? Parenting is not for the weak of heart. Join us in select movie theaters across the country in May for an encouraging story of true family life, the messy, the wonderful, and the redemptive. Like Arrows, the movie, will be in theaters for 2 nights only, May 1st and 3rd. To view the trailer or find theaters near you, visit likearrowsmovie.com.
Presentation is everything. If you don't have a great way to convey your message to clients, you may have lost half the battle. You need the right system and equipment for your conference and training rooms. Before you get overwhelmed and freak out over the latest technology, consult with Fathom Media. Fathom Media is a systems design specialist that will help bring your conference or boardroom into the 21st century and deliver presentations that cut through. From pre-design all the way through training you how to use and maintain your new system and equipment, Fathom Media is committed to your success, and it's more affordable than you may think. Communicating to clients, employees, and even customers doesn't have to be complicated. From business applications to churches and schools, Fathom Media will deliver your message using the latest and most effective technology for audio, video conferencing, interactive video walls, smartboards, kiosks, digital signage, and more. Choose Fathom Media. For a free design technology consultation, go to fathommedia.com. fathommedia.com.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. I'm so glad we had this time together.
You know, Bruce, really, I am so thankful you put your retirement fund into Sanka stock in 99, or we wouldn't have had this time together.
We'd like to thank Keith Conrad, Quinn McCarthy, Justin Kozik, and our guests today, including the Bears' #1 draft pick,
Jack Marius Tack Theratrix, Michigan State University.
And I think they're going to take this guy. Mike Singletary will be announcing it today.
Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State University.
Yeah, there we go.
And I won't know the difference.
And your final thoughts here, Sean, as we
I'm going to miss you, and
yeah.
I'm not going to be here Monday. You're going to be with the beautiful blonde Amy Jacobson, and it won't be as good.
Wear it on your sleeve. That's the way. Don't ever change. Do it that way. It's been a blast. I want to thank everybody here on AM 560, The Answer. I still don't know what the question is.
Yes.
Brett Baer was on with us today. It's wonderful.
And I'll see him in Naples over the weekend, because move to Naples.
Brett was terrific. It was great to talk to him right after he had that landmark interview with Jim Comey, who said, what did he say? He said,
I probably should have said really sloppy, but I wanted to be honest and say it's above sloppy.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up to what the 1917 statute meant when it said grossly negligent is a felony.
Yeah, he's pretty sloppy, too. Let's go into the newsroom now. And Mike Scott. Thank you, Mike.
Bruce and Sean, a man arrested after a series of carjacking incidents in the city of Chicago. Suburban police officer who was shot this week is out of the hospital. The Bears do take a Georgia linebacker with their #1 draft pick. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.